Emmanuel Anchando. Or for today's game. Shortstop, number 2, Jackson McDonald. Right field, number 7, Luke Bogle. Center field, number 8, Isaac Loya. Left field, number 11, Mason Grace Greathouse. Second base, number 12, Salvino Sanchez. First base, number 17, Noah Lynn. DH, number 23, Rico Lujan. And the plate catching, number 15, Eli Lynn. Starting pitcher for the Coyotes, number 10, Jacob Palomino. Head coach, Ernest Lujan. And now, your Carlsbad Cavemen. Senior, number 4, Hunter Dowdy. Junior, number 5, Nick Sandate. Sophomore, number 13, Riley Hernandez. Sophomore, number 14, Jaden Carter. Shortstop, junior, number 9, Jonas Molinar. Right field, junior, number 11, Tanner Collins. Center field, junior, number 12, Garrett Fuentes. Second base, junior, number 15, Aiden Quintela. Third base, senior, number 20, Fabian Hernandez. And the plate catcher, senior, number 16, Delmonico Granger Moreno. Starting pitcher, sophomore, number 3, Eli Lopez. Head coach for the Cavemen, Mike Magaha. Did I say Eli? My bad. Sorry, my bad.
All right, folks, we're going to get started here in just a second after national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the broadcast here at the Carlsbad High School. We've got the Tom Forney Cavemen Corral that is hosting this district matchup between the Roswell Coyotes and the Carlsbad Cavemen. And on the mound for the Cavemen today, to start things off, is going to be Eloy Lopez getting the start and the leadoff spot for the Cavemen. So a big role for Lopez here in this district matchup. The Cavemen did play Roswell just a couple nights ago. This game was scheduled for Friday, as a matter of fact, but it did not happen due to a shortage of umpires, as a matter of fact. But the Cavemen actually beat Roswell in Roswell on Thursday, 15-2. So a huge win for the Cavemen there. Obviously, a district matchup win is always big, but to do it in that fashion definitely sends out just another statement for this Cavemen squad this year. My name's Trey Gonzalez of All Sports Best. I'm here with Ruben Gonzalez here next to me, and today's broadcast are brought to you by CNB Bank. CNB Bank. Today's games are proudly sponsored by CNB Bank, serving our community for 100 years. Thank you for your support. Go Cavemen.
Jackson McDonald.
So starting off for the Coyotes is the shortstop, number 2, Jackson McDonald. Steps into the box against Eloy Lopez as we get ready for the first pitch starting at 11:04 here today. Just 4 minutes after first pitch it was scheduled, and there we go. First pitch is a fastball outside for strike one. Eloy Lopez has come onto the scene this year and has been a huge impact for this Caveman squad. A swing and a miss for strike two, so an early pitcher's count for Lopez here in this game. Pretty hot out right now to give you guys a little bit of a insight on the weather. Here's a nice fastball just off the plate, just where you want it if you're a pitching coach, and of course if you're a pitcher. Just off the plate, don't want to give him anything too nice. 0-2. It looks like he's probably going to go at him here. This off-speed pitch looked like a slider. Down and out for ball 2. 2-2 count. It's 76 right now, according to the weather app. A little bit windy. Here comes the next pitch. This one popped up into right field. Lots of wind from right to left out in the outfield, so it is caught there for out number 1 by number 11, Tanner Collins. And one is away here for the Cavemen. Tonight is the prom night. Ruben, you've been doing DJing prom, having your hand in prom in some capacity for how long? About 15 years?
No, more like 25 years.
Really?
Yeah.
25 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty long time, actually.
There's a fastball to start off the two-hole batter, number 15, Eli Lynn, for ball 1. Second pitch on the way. Here's a fastball right down the middle, fouled off for strike 1. So Eli Lynn here listed as a right-handed pitcher, a catcher and an outfielder. Comes a pitch, fastball right down the middle, popped up to center field. This is going to be right at Fuentes, camped under it and caught for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down for Eloy Lopez. And that one reeled in by Garrett Fuentes, the center fielder. So 2 batters faced, 2 pop flies. And now up to bat, I believe, would be Eli's brother, Noah Lynn, the first baseman for today's game. Here's the first pitch, ground ball over to third base, thrown over a little high. Handled by Wright off the bag, and the tag is good for out number 3. So 1 pitch there on that at bat, and it got him an easy 5-3 out number 3, and 3 up, 3 down. Very efficient, very nice first inning for Eloy Lopez. Ruben, what'd you see in just about 8 pitches there?
Yeah, he looked like he was in the zone, and he was just throwing just enough to where they couldn't get nothing too solid and got some easy outs for the defense. So, yeah, he looked good the first inning. Do you think this Lynn, there's 3 of them? Because there's a Luke, Eli, and Noah.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
maybe 3 brothers. That's kind of cool to have.
And I'm looking at their classes. It's sophomore, junior, and senior, so
Yeah.
very well could be
Yeah.
either brothers or maybe a couple brothers and cousins. We've had a couple of situations like that. I'm trying to think. Let's think of all the brothers we could think of that played on the same team, or sisters. We know that Grace and Faith played a couple years ago with the Cave Girls
And Jonna.
squad.
And
Jonna and help
Gabby,
me
I
out
don't
there.
know if
Gabby.
they played together, but yeah, there was actually, I think, 4 of them at one time
Yeah.
on the same team. So, yeah. And I think up here, I'm trying to think of too many brothers that played at the same time, but
Yeah, Malachi and Micah Calderon played basketball together.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you really kind of don't get a bunch of different names that get thrown around that played at the varsity level together, at least.
Yeah.
You know, they might be in the program, but it's a little bit different. So, if you guys have any that you know of that played for the Cavemen or Cave Girls, please throw it in the comment section. We'd love to see what you guys can come up with. Some family members that got a chance to play together at the varsity level here in Carlsbad. I'd love to see what you guys come up with. I know that the comment section typically has a lot more knowledge in things like that than we do, so be good to see what they come up with. So starting off for the Cavemen today, leading off is Eloy Lopez, followed by Delmonico Granger Moreno, then Fabian Hernandez, and cleanup batting today is Aiden Quintela.
First up for you, Cavemen. Number 3, Eloy Lopez.
So Eloy Lopez steps to the plate after a 1-2-3 inning. And so he's going to have a lot to do with today's game's outcome, at least to start things off, especially with him being on the mound. Pitch count exactly where you want it to be. And we'll see what happens after this first AB. But he steps into the plate against the pitcher, Jacob Palomino. Here comes the pitch. This one a fastball off the plate for ball 1.
I feel like the season is a game of adjustments for the lineups and everything, and I feel like it's changed a lot just since the last time we broadcasted.
It has. Guys get hot or stay hot.
Mm-hmm.
Averages push you into different spots in the lineup. And there's a first pitch or a second pitch,
Run number 1.
pop fly,
Gonna bring up number 16,
Foul.
Delmonico Granger Moreno.
but reeled in by the first baseman for out number 1. So Cavemen trying to score first if they can, and of course they'd like to do it here in the first inning. Like I said before, the Cavemen beat the Roswell Coyotes 15-2 on Thursday. So you just hope that they do not come into either one of today's games thinking, we have the obvious upper hand.
Oh, yeah, that's
'Cause
always
that's-
the worst, yeah.
Yes, it is. And in a 3-game series, anything can happen. You might destroy. I've seen it happen tons of times where it's 10-0, 12-3, and then 6-0 loss. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just, you just don't know what's going to happen, and guys get hot and cold, and things change.
Yeah, baseball is such a funny game. It's just a bad hop, bad throw, a wild pitch. Anything can change the game.
Yep.
And so you just never know from one game to the next.
Absolutely, and that's one thing about the difference between baseball and football and basketball. Basketball, you can absolutely find your way to upset, right? And right there we see a second strike to Delmonico. It's 1-2 count here to the senior catcher. But in those other sports, it's very much like, okay, I'm starting here, this position today, and the next game, same thing. Here's a pop fly over to right field.
Out to right.
Hit pretty well, but out number 2.
Gonna bring up number 20.
So a fly out to
Hernandez.
right field. And so far, both teams have started off the game with 2 pop flies for outs. Both pitchers trying to keep the pitch count down very clearly. But in those other sports, it's like, I know that the same guys are going to be out on the field or on the court typically. But in this case, in baseball, you're going to get a different guy on the mound each game. So you never know. They're having a great game, a bad game, easy to hit. They might be the best pitcher in the state, but that just works out into your favor because your batters like fast pitching. I mean, there's 1,000 variables that go into what goes on the mound every game.
and one of them is the umpire behind the plate. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
it's always that. Okay, he's got a real tight strike zone, or he's got a loose strike zone,
And he's frustrated
Yeah.
with the pitcher and the way he's acting, so he's
Yeah.
going to take it out on. Yep, exactly. There's so many things that can happen. Right now we're seeing in the NBA playoffs, the Lakers are going to get swept by the Nuggets.
wow, they're not going to get swept, but they are going to lose.
I mean,
the
you're going to get the same guys on the court every single night, minus injuries. Here's a pop fly into foul territory. It's going to be a tough one for the first baseman, and he reels it in for out number 3. So 3 pop flies for the Cavemen, 2 of them to the first baseman, and on we go into the second inning. 3 up, 3 down on both sides. A very quick first inning if we've ever seen it.
Did you see where they gave the Heisman back to Reggie Bush?
I did see that,
I
yes.
thought that was unusual. So what do they think? Okay, now everything's an NIL deal, so we're going to go ahead and be a little bit more generous. I don't know.
Well,
what
see, to
happened
me,
exactly.
I think what's crazy to me is that the Heisman Trophy, and you can correct me on this, but the Heisman Trophy has nothing to do with how much money anybody makes. That doesn't affect your performance.
Right.
It might affect where you go. It might affect, the scholarship stuff that you have, whatever. But now with all the money coming in and how much these guys are making, and he sold, I think most of his allegations came from selling gear that he owned.
Yeah.
Imagine that you are trying to clean out your house and you go to sell something, you get arrested. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that to me was kind of ridiculous. I know he took extra money on the side. We saw guys with Hummers, and back then it was very hush-hush but very in your face at the same time. Like, where did he get that? Oh,
His
he worked
aunt-
really hard. Yeah.
His
Yeah.
aunt gave it to him. But, yeah, I mean, it's hard to monitor all that stuff. But I guess back then that's what the NCAA's job was, to make sure everything was on the up and up. Well, now with the NIL deals, I feel like it's a lot different, to where people have stuff and you go, oh, well, they've got an NIL deal.
Right. Oh, yeah. And I can only imagine it's a great cover for so many shady things that are happening right now, for sure. Because it's like, yeah, you can make money now. So, yeah, you mowed my lawn. Here's $5,000. Appreciate it. And by the way, you did a great job on the lawn, and they didn't even show up. You just, is there any way to know? Absolutely not. That's an NIL deal. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We are seeing some cool stuff happen for sure. But here comes Savino Sanchez.
Oh, nice
And
pitch.
here's a first pitch strike for Eloy Lopez, picking up where he left off. Sanchez is the second baseman today for the Coyotes. This pitch
Another pop.
popped up again, but it looks like it might be out of play. Delmonico's getting under it, but it carried away back into the stands for strike 2. So immediately, Lopez is going right at the batter. And there's a lot to be said about the mindset of just attacking the zone regardless. This is a 4-hole batter, Ruben.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not – and a lot of guys will go, okay, 4-hole batter. He comes up to bat. He's probably one of their best hitters. I'm going to try and keep it painted on the outside and keep it low. And Eloy Lopez is going, yeah, I'll do that, but I'm going to keep it in the zone first.
Hey, after I get 2 strikes and he's swinging at my pitches.
Exactly. So a nice pitch there by Lopez. Just misses a little low for ball 2. So a 2-2 count. The leg kick and the pitch, this one a fastball down, and that is one thing that some pitchers can get in trouble for. I caught myself doing that in college here and there. Was you get an 0-2 count, you're like, okay, can't give him anything too good. And then, hey, I'm up 1-2. Can't give him anything too, you know what I mean? And then by the time you're a full count, you're like, I got to put something over the plate, and you miss.
Yeah.
And there it is. So,
Oh.
that was an interesting strike 3 there, but we'll take it. So a backwards K there, and Eloy Lopez's first strikeout of the day comes on a questionable high pitch. What'd you see there?
I saw it inside. Like, it looked like it was almost going to hit his shirt as he was taking off to first.
That's what I thought.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess maybe that umpire's calling the inside corner.
Maybe the early move to first got him.
Yeah.
Here's a ground ball over to Jonas Molinar. Fielded and tossed over to first base for out number 2. An easy one pitch out there for Lopez. And after throwing 6 to Sanchez, he throws 1 to Palomino.
Maybe Sanchez was was looking at an inside pitch, and he just took off before the pitch was even there yet. And so
I
that's
don't
why it almost
know.
hit him, because to me it looked like it was going to hit him.
It did look close. They are a little on the plate, but I
Yeah.
mean, even this guy here up to bat for the Coyotes is Riso Lucan? Lujan? Rico, sorry. Rico Lujan up to bat, and he is fairly close on the plate. Here's a pop fly in foul territory. This one's going to stay in play, and that's going to be out number 3.
See, and Delmonico did that right. You face towards where the ball's coming back to, and then you throw your mask after it gets up there. You don't
That's right.
throw it right away and then be worried
about stepping on it.
Yeah, tripping over it or something. So
100%. And it's crazy how that's almost become a lost art.
Oh, yeah.
And it depends on your coach. Like, if
Yeah.
your coach is like, you know what you're doing, you've been catching for, 8 years of your life, do your thing, that's one thing. But, I mean, there's some coaches that do a really good job of going, and I think that Magaha is very much a detail-oriented coach where he says, this is exactly how it's done. Delmonico probably knew that already.
Yeah, I'm
but
sure.
what I'm trying to say is that, like, a lot of programs are like, I'll just trust you to do what you do,
Right.
and I'm not going to step in your way. And that's something you can't do as a coach if you want guys to get better.
Especially as a first-year coach, you want to make sure everybody's doing the things the way you teach it, because what's going to happen? And let's say he would have thrown his mask off right away and then tripped over it and then didn't catch it. Then you'd be like, okay, well, Magaha's not teaching him how to do it right.
Exactly.
And he might have learned it,
And
like
it's
you said, when he started the program 5 years ago. But if you do it right, then nobody questions, the play.
No, 100%. I do like that mindset behind it too. And another thing is, what's cool about when you come into a program is you set like the standard right away, and then those guys know it. And so when the guys come up the following year, now they are like, hey, what do I do here? And it's shared throughout. I remember coming up when I was in high school, and if I asked questions, the guy in front of me typically knew what he was talking about. And you almost would rather ask your peer than to ask the coach, because it's embarrassing. Like, oh, my gosh, I don't want him to know. I didn't know that. Here comes the first pitch to Aiden Quintela. This one a fastball off the plate a bit, but called for strike 1. So it is both ways a little bit loose on the left to right here in the strike zone.
And the only good thing about that is, hopefully by first or second inning, that's the way the umpire's calling it. So everybody's going to let everybody else know, hey, you know what?
Yes.
You're not going to get it right down the middle. So if it's a little in and you got 2 strikes, you better be swinging.
Yes. Here's a nicely hit ball in the left field by Quintela. Will it go? Yes, it does. Home run from Aiden Quintela. So the cleanup spot today looks good on Aiden Quintela with a bomb into left field for the first run of the Cavemen's day. Put a great swing on it. Pitch was right there, a 1-1 count, and he took advantage of it. So great job there by Aiden Quintela, the first home run of the day. First hit of the day comes from a boomba.
Yeah, he definitely had the right launch angle on that.
Yes, he did. And you know what? Like we said before, if you can put a ball in the air pretty hard today and you're a right-handed batter, you're going to have a good chance. The wind is blowing pretty hard, and on the weather app it's considered windy. I don't know the miles per hour just yet. We'll have to look that up. But the flag out in the center field is moving big time.
Yeah.
So up to bat for the Cavemen is Gus Risher, number 8, playing left field today. Here comes his second pitch. This one yanked a bit from the pitcher. So a 2-0 count and a hitter's count here for the 5-hole batter in Risher, who has seen the ball well this year. So coming set is the pitcher for this one, and a strike right down the middle. So 23-mile-an-hour winds right now from right field, the right pole, foul pole to the left foul pole. Looks like the American flag is waving.
Yeah, it looks
There's another
good.
ball. So a 3-1 count. Yeah, and it's nice if it's because it's kind of hot for the fans. That breeze is nice, and it will have an effect on today's game for sure. That ball was hit really well by Quintela. I think if it's not windy out, it still goes.
Brings up number 6.
There goes a walk on 5 pitches from Gus Risher, and another batter reaches base here in back-to-back ABs. And Hazen right now up to bat playing first base for the Cavemen, number 6. Walkout song, Rookie of the Year by Moneybag Yo, a very gangsta song. There's a first pitch fastball low and outside for ball 1.
I haven't heard that song, but I know that movie, Rookie of the Year.
That's a great movie. It's one of my favorite baseball movies. And here comes a pitch. This one, a fastball on the corner for strike 1. I'm sorry. So Risher over at first base, Hazen right at the plate. On deck is Tanner Collins, who is playing right field today. And these boys are going to play a doubleheader. And then immediately afterwards, some of the juniors and all of the seniors likely will be getting ready for prom. I mean, they'll have a window of about, 4 hours to get a little rest, get showered up, and tuxedoed out. Here comes a pitch. This one a fastball high and outside.
Yeah, and to me.
Ooh, strike called on that one.
That was a
1-2 count off the plate by a few inches there.
I don't mind it as much on strike 2 as on strike 3, but now he's got to protect even that outside away ball.
I mean, Hazen's tall, but he's not that tall. This one hit hard, but fouled off into the Cavemen bullpen.
So how much longer you think till that field house is ready? Another 6 months?
So the prediction is right before the Cavemen football team gets out on the field for their first home game, but I think it's hard to imagine that happening. And here's a ground ball over to third base. And the fielder's choice goes over to second base for out number 1.
Going to bring up number 11, Tanner Collins.
And Hazen Wright makes it in safely over to first base. So runner on first base for Tanner Collins. All right, so Cavemen lead 1-0 if you're just joining us. Today's broadcast is brought to you by CNB Bank. Proudly sponsored by CNB Bank, where community and excellence meet. Thank you, CNB Bank, for your continued support. As a matter of fact, cool extra fun fact of CNB Bank today is that they gave out Cavemen towels and hand fans for the fans today. Pretty sweet little extra part of them sponsoring today's broadcast as we see a swing and a miss from Collins for strike number 1. So an 0-1 count, runner on first base.
We look at Hazen right over at first base, and he's really tall, but, man, he's got like a 10-foot lead over there, and he's not even looking to steal. Okay, now he is.
Oh, here he goes to second base, and he's in there safely. A nice steal by Wright.
I almost gave it away, huh?
You did. You were trying to spy on us. So now a 1-1 count here with 1 out. Runner in scoring position with Wright over at second base. Collins at the plate. On deck is Garrett Fuentes, the center fielder. Another thing CNB Bank did earlier this week was deliver Gatorades and protein bars to the Cavemen team just to kind of show their support. I thought that was another really cool gesture on their part. So a really cool sponsor with CNB Bank.
Yeah, that is nice, especially when it's unexpected. Just kind of like, hey, guys, doing a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go.
All right, so here comes the pitch. The 2-1 is a strike to Collins, so it makes it a 2-2 count. Right over at second base with 1 out. Cavemen lead 1-0. Collins with the closed stance. This one fouled off. So Collins just puts enough bat on the ball to get himself another pitch there. 2-2 count. And the wind has been constant, but up and down in terms of how fast it's coming. feels like it's 20 plus, and then it feels 10. So it's just gusts here and there, and right there after that ball, it makes it a full count. So Collins trying to move the runner over. Can he do it? Well, he gets a walk, so now we got 2 runners on.
Gonna bring up number 12, Gary.
First and second with 1 out. And it looks like Palomino having a hard time. Since the home run, he has given up 2 walks. And Garrett Fuentes is now up to bat to try and add another run to that board for the Cavemen. Wind blowing hard out to left field. Here's a high curveball attempt as Fuentes squared around to bunt. And then this is a really good situation to go ahead and get a bunt down. Ruben, I think if he can push it over to the right side towards the first baseman, maybe try and nestle it in there somewhere between first and the pitcher, that would be a huge opportunity to make all 3 runners safe. What do you think here?
Yeah, I think it's tough. I think when you do it with maybe a speedy guy batting and maybe a unexpected situation, but I think once you've already shown the bunt, they're expecting it. But I guess it's the rotation of how the guy from third covers and the pitcher, covers the ball and stuff. So I guess if you can push it past the pitcher, then it's going to be a tough situation.
And that is something that not a lot of coaches really focus as much on. I don't know what how much the Cavemen spend on their bunting. We're going to see right here another pitch high and inside to Fuentes, and a 3-1 count. Likely going to give him the swing away sign now. But a lot of coaches don't spend a lot of time on bunting. It's just kind of like, okay, we know how to bunt. We know how to put a bat out there and touch it with the ball.
Yeah.
But there's a science to it, just like anything else. There's mechanics that come along with it. Can you pinch the bat the correct way and actually control it?
Yeah.
A lot of guys, they see what they think should be the right way, imitate it. It looks good. We're just going to leave it alone. And there's so many deficits that come with just an unpracticed bunt attempt, if that makes sense.
Well, if you're a speedster, I feel like it's something you can do to try to get a single when they don't expect it. But if you're a big guy and in a situation, first and second, nobody out, and you're just trying to move the runners over or whatever, well, then everybody's got to be able to do it, even if it's just sacrifice. But so many times they get the bat under it and they pop it up.
Right.
And then it just makes the situation worse.
Here's Jonas Molinar, the 9-hole batter for the Cavemen, a first pitch strike. And it's kind of nice to have Molinar at the 9-hole for the reason that they're likely going, okay, let's just get the 9-hole batter out, and then we'll focus on the first batter. Well, he had a grand slam in Clovis just about a week and a half ago. So if that is the case here and they decide, let's go ahead and put one right in his zone, he has a big opportunity to put a solid swing on it. But a huge opportunity for RBIs here. 0-2 count. Molinar grounds it over to third base, caught, and thrown over to first base, or second base, I'm sorry, for out number 2.
Oh, I thought he tagged the guy going to third. It looked like he did, but I guess he missed him.
I guess not.
Brings up number 3, Eloy Lopez.
So Molinar puts a ball on the ground for a fielder's choice, but it will get in the run, so it will be an RBI for Molinar. As Hazen Wright scores, Collins moves over to third base, and Molinar is over at first base. So 2 outs now with runners on first and third, bringing up Eloy Lopez. In a 2-0 ball game, the Cavemen lead. And it's funny when you look over into the dugout. I mean, you see Yetis and all the technology that we now have, the new stuff. Here's a hard hit ball from Lopez, helping his own cause. Here comes a run. And they're going to send Molinar here as the left fielder stumbled, and he's in to score easily. So a 2-run RBI single for Eloy Lopez. And he moved over to second base on the throw, so he's actually in scoring position as well. Great job by Lopez to take advantage of the 2-out situation. And you couldn't have asked for a better outcome there for Lopez.
That's for sure. So since he's pitching, they've got a runner. I don't know who you have the list of somebody's running for him.
Yes, I believe Nick Sandate is the runner they typically bring in. But it is Riley Hernandez came in to pinch run here in this situation. Here comes the pitch. This one grounded over to third base for Granger Moreno. This one thrown over to first in time for out number 3. So a 5-3 out number 3. And the Cavemen come one batter short of batting around the lineup here in the second inning. And they do just what they wanted to do, especially after a 15-run game on Thursday. They put up a 4 spot here in the second inning.
Yeah, it always feels good, especially for Eloy helping his own cause on a good hit. Scored, 2 runs?
Yes.
On that, and it makes you go back to the mound thinking, okay, now I've got a little bit of a lead. It makes you kind of relax a little more. And, of course, I feel like he was relaxed already. He hasn't thrown nothing but strikes. It just makes it that much easier for him on the mound.
Absolutely. Well, a 4-run inning is always nice. There are the pros and cons to every single situation. You have a 4-run inning. Typically, it is a little bit longer. In this case, it wasn't too long for the Cavemen, but regardless, Eloy is going to still have to kind of dial it in here. Those 6 or 7 throws that he gets off the mound are actually super important, maybe even more important than the first 2 innings warm up, just to go ahead and dial it back in, because you come out, you're throwing strikes, 3 up, 3 down in 2 innings. Now you got to face the 7, 8, and 9 batters, but you have to be dialed back in. And sometimes just a little bit of a break can change where your mindset is, where your release point is. And like I said, those 7 throws are really a big deal. I think one of the things that was a main focus for me trying to get figured out from one inning to the next was how much did this guy dig onto the mound during that time? And during 4 innings, sometimes guys get mad. They're going to scrape at it with their cleat. They're going to dig holes. Their landing point, they've put a few more pitches than you have now. So that landing spot is dug out more in their favor. And if you're taller or shorter and that stride's different, it kind of just affects your landing.
Yeah, I can adjust for sure.
All right, so here comes a first pitch to Isaac Loya, leading it off for the 3rd inning for the Coyotes. First pitch fastball, nicely done by Lopez, and he looks to be back in it once again. So an 0-1 count here to Loya, and this one fouled off, making it an 0-2. The Cavemen have listed on their staff Kevin Jimenez, Mike Magaha, and Justin Phillips. Obviously, Magaha, the head coach, but I think there's got to be an extra 4 more coaches in that dugout at all times. Here's a hard hit ball to third base. This one just off the heel of the glove from Fabian Hernandez. And it's going to be a nice double there for Isaac Loya. A hard hit ball down the line. And that would have been that's going to be a really hard play to make. The glove was there, just in a, 2 inches different spot than maybe it needed to be.
Oh, yeah, no, he made a good stab at it, but yeah, you have to make everything just right on that one. It was hit solid down the line, so.
Yes, it was.
Stand-up double.
So runner at second base, bringing up Luke Bogle, and he gets hit on the shoulder for a hit by pitch, and a runner on first base now as well. So runners on first and second with no outs. Mason Greathouse now up to bat, and Eloy Lopez would absolutely love a ground ball here. So the force is in effect at third, second, and first. The American flag is busy over there, going from right to left. Here's a nicely placed bunt, and Lopez fields it, tosses it over to first base for out number 1, but Greathouse does exactly what he was set out to do. And he moves the runners over to second and third nicely. So
Yeah.
2 runners in scoring position, bringing up your leadoff batter. You couldn't have drawn that up any better if you're the coach from Roswell. Head coach Ernest Lujan has to be happy about that performance, that bunt that was laid down by Greathouse.
Yeah, he hit the top of the ball to where it gave it a lot more bounce. If he'd have gotten a little lower, he might have been able to get the play at third.
Yes, exactly. So if you can deaden the ball just enough, so there's it's like a sweet spot, right? If you
Yeah,
deaden it
zone.
too much, now the catcher takes 1 step, grabs it, and can do whatever he wants with it. You want it to be about 3 steps away from the catcher at least, so that it's still a play between the two, and somebody's going to have to call it. They're still going to have to get out there and get it. So there's a second ball to Jackson McDonald, the leadoff batter. So a 2-0 count, runners on second and third, 1 out. Lopez trying to protect the 0 up on the board for the Cavemen, and here's a fastball down the middle to challenge McDonald. 2-1 count with 1 out. So McDonald trying to
Looked like it.
help the Coyotes put some runs on the board, and a nice pitch from Lopez. Will look to be an off-speed pitch. So 1 out on the board. Can the Cavemen keep the scoreboard clean? Here's a hard hit ball
That's going to score
into
2.
left field. A single for McDonald is going to be 2 runs for the Coyotes. And a super team effort here for the Coyotes in the 3rd inning to try and fight back and earn some more runs back that they lost in the 2nd inning. I'm sorry.
Well, we discussed a little bit about the little bit of a long rest, and now you've kind of seen the effects of it just from, the solid hits that they weren't getting earlier on.
Exactly. So fresh batter here in the second batter of the lineup, Eli Lynn. First pitch strike from Lopez. Added a little more to it on that pitch. So Jackson McDonald over at first base. The Cavemen lead 4-2. After a couple of runs on the single from McDonald, gets through the hole. Perfectly placed, hard hit ground ball for the Coyotes. So Eli Lynn with a 1-0 count. And it is a nice day for baseball. There's no doubt about it. Ruben, the boys went on the podcast. Hazen Wright and Delmonico Granger Moreno asked him a couple of questions. One of the questions that I thought was answered interestingly was the smells of baseball. So I and a lot of people would say, what's one of the things you think of when you think of baseball smells? What's one that comes to mind, or a couple that come to mind for you?
Probably like pine tar and probably just the dirt on the infield.
Okay.
What did they
And
say?
for me, and here's a hard hit ball up the middle, a line drive into center field, and another base hit for the Coyotes on back-to-back ABs.
Base hit brings up number 17, Noah Lynn.
So 2 singles in a row. Jackson McDonald scores 2 on his. Eli Lynn moves the runner over with 1 out. And now you bring up the 3-hole batter in Noah Lynn. So the smells that come to mind for me are fresh cut grass.
Okay.
That comes to mind. And I always loved to smell my gloves, so that would always come to mind too, was the leather.
yeah.
But I didn't even put that on the podcast. But they said was the same thing, but I was like, you guys don't have grass. So what is the smell? And he was like, they said that they'll drag the field like in the base paths to make it smooth so that it's not like you're stepping in like divots and stuff like that. And they said that it smells nice and clean when it's done, which is so weird to me because I just think, okay, it smells like maybe rubber and it might be hot because of the pellets in the.
Yeah.
But they say no, it's a pretty good smell. So I thought that was an interesting new development because we didn't have near as much turf. What was it, 10 plus years ago, as they do
13,
now? About
yeah.
14 years ago,
Yeah.
actually.
Well, what's crazy to me is I remember when you used to go play in the summer and we'd go to the El Paso Community College, and oh my gosh, at 107 degrees, this turf
And
felt
you could
like
see
120
the
yeah,
mirage.
it felt like
Oh, and
you're-
here's a pickoff play over to second base. They got him off the base.
Oh, they got him at second.
So right there, it went past him, but right there, Cavemen had an opportunity to get 2 outs on just one pickoff move. But it looks like they're going to move the runner over to third base. We're going to see what happens here as Magaha's going to come out and try and figure out why the runner's going to get an extra base for free.
Yeah,
I'm guessing that they're going to say that Jonas Molinar was in his way.
Yeah, but even if he's in his way, he's going to that base. So why would you give him an extra
Well, when the
base?
ball went past him, maybe he tried to get up. As long as you can make it, I mean, this is the one way that you can flop in baseball. If you can make it look like, hey, I tried to go, you're going to get an extra base. So we're going to see what happens here in Magaha.
Like he's getting up,
Magaha's going, okay, now I see what's going on, and you explained it to me. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. There's no other way. But that does put the Cavemen in a bind there with Eli Lynn being over at third base. Now Noah Lynn has another opportunity to score him.
That's good that the coach goes out there because that way he gets to explain to him. Maybe sometimes he says, no, he didn't, you know what I mean? And you might get the home plate umpire to see it different and then reverse it. But it's all null and void now. Strike three.
So strike 3 here to Noah Lynn, and not able to get the runner in, but still, the Roswell Coyotes have a solid inning with 2 runs scored. And the Cavemen head back in for the bottom of the 3rd inning to try and reclaim a few more runs that they had ahead of the Coyotes. So starting off for the Cavemen here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, it's going to be Fabian Hernandez, Aiden Quintela, and Gus Risher, followed by Hazen Wright. And we remember the way that the Cavemen started off the last offensive surge was through a solo bomb from Aiden Quintela deposited over the left field wall. And so he's going to come up to bat here in this inning as well.
Okay, my question to you is, what are your, 2 or 3 go-to songs that people are wanting to hear for prom this year?
Oh, okay. That's a really good question. One of the songs that's come back, and we talked about it before, and we played it at the 8th grade formal also, is a song called Love by Keisha Cole. So this is a song that probably came out, if I were to guess, around 2010, about when I was in high school. Never once was it requested at that point. It was not a party, excited dancing song. It is a fairly good beat, and you would want to dance to it now. But somehow some songs come back, and I blame it all on social media. It's a good song. A good song to just kind of bump in your car and just enjoy and maybe sing along to.
Back then,
but
were doing
all the
stanky
kids are
legs,
singing
huh?
it. Yeah, back then it was a stanky leg. Here comes the pitch. First pitch strike here on a curveball to Fabian Hernandez. So Hernandez flew out to first base foul in the first inning. Here's a foul ball here for Hernandez once again, and that is going to make it 0-2. Here in his second AB of the game. Today we have a doubleheader ahead of us, so if you're watching, don't forget to tune in for the second game as well. We got a double feature, both sponsored by C&B Bank, and here's a nice single for Fabian Hernandez between the third base and shortstop gap. Well, that's going to put the first runner of the inning on base and bring up Aiden Quintela. So Quintela got all of it in the second inning for a solo bomb. Now he's got a runner over at first base. And we're going to see if he can keep a good game going. He started it off as good as it can get. Here comes the first pitch from Palomino. He's going to try and put a bunt down, and the transfer from the catcher gets lost. An easy base there for Fabian Hernandez. So a nice stolen base for Hernandez. A good jump on that pitch. Had the catcher transferred it cleanly, I think it would have been a pretty close play. But that is something that you risk when you're trying to get the ball out quickly. I did see, though, something that I'm proud of as a fan. the Diamondbacks catcher, Gabby Moreno, has the fastest pop time of the year. He had it the other day, and when you watch that replay, it's like, oh my gosh, crazy how fast they can do it. I mean, you got to be partially up in a squat. You know, you're not down in a typical catcher squat. You're on your way up, and you've got to get it out quick. And here's another base taken from Fabian Hernandez. So 2 straight stolen bases for Fabian Hernandez.
They were in the World Series last year.
And we got jokes here from Brandon Rhodes asking if the D-backs are a college team. And that one hurt. That one did hurt. 3-0 count here for Aiden Quintela. And they're kind of being careful here. Oh, we've got a 2-1 count, as a matter of fact. 2-1 count. Yeah, that's a pretty good pitch there, but called for a ball. And we've seen that called for a strike a couple times today, so you can't let that be a pitch that goes by with 2 strikes. That's for sure.
That's for sure, yeah.
So right there, safe to do.
Ooh,
hard hit ball from Aiden Quintela. Can it go? This one is gone. Back-to-back bombs from Aiden Quintela. And I didn't want to put any type of mention towards like, well, can he do it again?
Or any pressure.
And he just did it anyway. So let's go ahead and mark that into the scorebook as a 2-run bomb for Aiden Quintela. Now the question is, can he go for the home run cycle? He's got a solo bomb, a 2-run bomb. You just need a couple more, right? I mean, how hard could it be?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's ever been done. That would be a tough one.
That would be hard.
You have to get 2 guys on
base.
It's
got to be perfect situations,
yeah.
And of course you have to be able to execute it. The execution part is really hard, but for the situations to just come up
harder.
Like that,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. It's like lottery. You'd have to have hit the lottery twice, basically.
Yeah.
So here is now up to bat for the Cavemen, number 8, Gus Risher. First pitch, strike on the outer half. So an 0-1 count. Cavemen already have scored 2 here in this inning with no outs. This one way off the plate. Cavemen lead now 6-2 on 4 hits recorded. 2 of those hits, bombs from Aiden Quintela. Here comes the leg kick and the pitch. This one, a changeup right over the plate for strike 2, a 1-2 count now. So Gus Risher's up to bat. On deck is Hazen Wright, followed by Tanner Collins. And this one just off the plate again, a 2-2 count. That one was a little bit close.
I don't know. To me, I felt like that was way off
the
way he caught it, but yeah, you just never know.
You're right, and the setup can definitely do that. Here's a nice. Yes, it is. It leaked through the infield there over on the right side for Gus Risher, and just enough to get him over to first base with a single. So add some points to the batting average there. He's going to get down for a single. 1 for 1 on the day for Gus Risher after a walk and a single. So now up to bat for the Cavemen is Hazen Wright, the first baseman. And he's got a runner over at first base. Here comes the pitch, this one. Fastball low and outside for ball 1. So Ruben actually got a DM on Thursday night from Delmonico and from Hazen. They were both on the podcast, and both of them hit a home run in
that might be
Roswell. Here's a hard hit ball up in the air. Can it carry? Yes, it does. Home run for Hazen Wright. 2-run bomb for the first baseman, the senior. And just talking about his home run the other night, Roswell's seen him do it before. They put one in his zone, and he does it again. So 2 home runs in this inning here for the Cavemen, as we see them come alive on offense. And you can kind of see the 15-2 results trying to unfold here for the Cavemen. They're going to do their best to keep tacking it on. And the more you do that, the more you run through the Roswell pitching staff. We're going to see right here if they will be taking out Palomino.
And the tough thing, I guess, is you've got whoever pitched the other night in Roswell, and then you've got a pitcher for both games. So if you're going to your bullpen now and then you're trying to save that game 2 starter, it just stretches that pitching staff a little bit thin.
Yes, it does. 100%. So now Roswell's going to be faced with deciding on whether or not they want to keep their starter in the game.
How much
In a pretty
time,
long conversation.
Yeah, I was going to say, how much time as an umpire do you give them before you go out there and go, hey, coach, you got to make a choice. We can't stand out here all day.
I don't think there's a rule to it for the umpire, but I think typically it's anywhere between like a minute 30.
Yeah.
Like that's about where you start to feel a little bit of that itch as an umpire and you start making your way over there. Now, I did see the other day that an umpire and a head coach got into it. It was at the college level, and he was making some bad calls, and the coach was upset and was talking to him back and forth, and finally he called timeout to talk to his pitcher, and he waited up there because he wanted the umpire to go and talk to him and him so he could give him some words, and they waited, I think, 3 or 4 minutes, and he finally came out there. It was like, I don't want to even have to deal with you. Here's a first pitch strike to Tanner Collins. Bases are cleared off. They got cleared twice here in this inning, once by Aiden Quintela with a 2-run bomb, then just 2 batters later with Hazen Wright, a 2-run bomb. And it has actually gone in a pattern. Fabian Hernandez had a single, then Aiden Quintela a home run. Gus Risher had a single, Hazen Wright with a home run, and now up to bat is Tanner Collins.
If he gets a single, it's going to be a lot of pressure on number 12.
Yes, it is. Garrett Fuentes is going to have to put everything he's got and put it and strike it with the barrel so that it can continue. The 2-1 count here to Collins, and this one, ooh, high and outside for strike 2. That one has to be a ball.
See,
there's no way.
It was a little bit outside, but not that bad, but it
Really?
was high. It was high for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I think we go to the replay on that one, and you're going to see it 10 times out of 10. That's nowhere
Near the zone.
near a strike, but
the pitcher's like, I'm going to pitch one even further outside, see if he swings at it. Or see if the umpire, it's either up to the umpire or the batter.
3-2 count. Nobody on, nobody out. Collins. This one, fastball nicely placed. And if a pitch is going to be called for a strike that's a little off, that would have been the one.
Yeah, that would have been one before that other one was, for sure.
100%. But here is Garrett Fuentes now up to bat with a runner on first base. Nobody out.
He has less pressure because he didn't get a single.
Right, exactly.
That's
it's like, okay. Tanner Collins kind of broke the cycle with a walk there. So, like you said, less pressure. Fuentes going to look to put a bunt down. Collins gets back safely. Pretty good at
jump.
Backdoor pick attempt from the catcher, but
I feel like he had a good jump. Like
yes.
That was the one you go on. So maybe he's going on this one because it looks like he's got speed and a good lead too.
And sometimes there's things that coaches do to kind of show maybe he's going to go or maybe they're talking about it. McGaha gets way back there, and I wonder, is that one of his things that he does? You know what I mean? Like,
don't tip it, but yeah. Maybe.
No. Or, because some guys, it's like, okay, I'm going to do that right now. And so next time I do it, they're going to expect it, and they're going to be playing a different way. You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be obvious mind games to it. But Collins takes second base, so runner at second base, Fuentes up to bat. And this one, a changeup a little low.
He says, if I'm standing next to the left fielder, then you better field the next base. If you can't see me.
If I have my arm around the left fielder, come on.
I'm trying to distract him. That means take a base.
Here comes the pitch, this one. Fastball high for ball 3. 3-1 count here to Fuentes. And on deck is Jonas Molinar. Fuentes in his first at-bat walked. So this could be his route to walk number 2, but not before a strike catches the outer half. 3-2 count. That was a hitter's count. I think McGaha was a little bit flustered that he didn't take the swing on that one. Here comes the pitch. This one hit high, straight back. He's going to get another pitch here. Full count. to Garrett Fuentes. This is the 7th pitch of the AB. So working that pitch count here in this plate appearance. And here is another foul ball straight back. So working on the 8th pitch here is Palomino. And with how many runs have been put on the board and runners and walks even, Palomino has to be up in the 80s now for his pitch count. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say somewhere in that range.
So at this point in the season, typically coaches will let their guys go 90 to 105 maybe. That's probably a decent sweet spot for guys that are arms are conditioned.
Trouble
Trouble in
trouble.
center field. That's going to be a single for Fuentes as it was lost in the sun. Sometimes that sun will squeak you out a single, and that time it did.
Yeah, that center fielder misjudged it. I don't think the sun was in his eyes, but he misjudged it.
You think it
big
was? He
time.
just overran it?
Yeah, and
Okay.
overran it and just, yeah, and it's tough because it should go down as an error. I mean, you can make
Right.
a great play and it hit off your glove and it's an error, but on something like that, you lose it or you misjudge it, and then it's clean to the ground and it's a base hit.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's tough as a pitcher. You see that and you're like, okay, cool. I did exactly what I need to do, and it just doesn't fall your way. That's tough. Here comes the pitch. This one right down the middle. Hard hit ball from Jonas Molinar. This one, if nothing else, is going to be an RBI, and yes, it is. Sack fly
Second RBI for Molinar.
for Molinar. So he comes in and does exactly what he needed to do there to score in another run for the Cavemen, making it 9-2. And he moves the runner over to third base as well. So Fuentes now over at third base.
Yeah, I felt like that could have been a tough play for the center fielder because anytime it's hit dead right at you, you know what I mean? It's harder to judge than something with a little bit of angle or a little bit of bloop. It was kind of a long drive.
It can definitely deceive you for sure. The 0-1 count here with Eloy Lopez. Hard hit ball in the left field. Will it go down? Oh, nice catch there from the left fielder.
Nice catch and a sack fly.
And Garrett Fuentes is going to come across for another run, the 10th
He's calling
run.
him out. See, I know he tagged. I saw him tag. I think it's a bad call.
Yeah, that was a bad call because, like you said, I mean, he came back and was right there. And we're going to hear some of what Magaha's saying.
Yeah. No, he did come back. Yeah, he did. I thought it was a bad call.
And Magaha there defending his runner. I mean, I think he has every right to defend that one. It was very clear that he was still at the, I mean, if nothing else, you should see he's in the area. If he's like a step off with momentum before the thing, that's one thing. But if you're not sure, it's hard to make that call as an out. You know what I mean? And right there, I think he was definitely back.
Well, on that one, I felt like he started taking off and he saw, oh, this guy's going to make a good play. And I could see him take the steps back. And, of course, as an umpire, you got to be at the perfect angle to see the play and to see with only two umpires. It's a tough call all the way around. But he was at his angle. He's kind of, looking with both ways eyes, you know what I mean? Because to me, I thought that ball was going to go into the corner for a double or a triple.
Yes.
And he made a great play on it, the left fielder.
Yeah, that had to be hard to, because like when you see something hit hard like that, you think, okay, that's going to be down. As a runner, you kind of let your momentum carry you, and then you're like, oh, I don't know, it's something in your head that's just like, I got to go back. But he did do it. We saw it. I mean, and I mean, with two umpires, I will give him that. It is tough with two umpires, but when you're not sure, you have to give him the benefit of the doubt. You go to appeal it. Look, I didn't see it. He's safe. I've seen that happen time and time again where they go, do you have anything? They point to the umpire. They say no. Just call him safe.
Yeah.
I have seen teams cut third base, too.
Oh,
where they'll say, you know what, we've got umpire deficit over on this side. We're just going to go ahead and
Save
from
a step
second
or
base.
two.
Exactly. I've seen guys cut about 10 steps off of a.
Oh, that many?
Oh, yeah, easily. I mean, right where the cutout is for the dirt right there.
Oh, dang.
They will take that. And if the umpire doesn't see it, you're better off for it. And it's funny because some people be like, I've seen things on social media. That's a lie. That team lied and they cheated. And it's like, it is. I get it, but they're trying to win. And I almost can't fault them for that. At the time, watching it happen, I was definitely annoyed with it. But if you can work the system, you got to do it.
Well, in this situation, it's 9-2. If it was 1-0,
Yes.
I would still be there arguing with the umpire. You know what I mean? I'd
Oh,
be like,
yeah.
Angel, are you serious?
Exactly.
You missed that call by a mile.
Yeah, get him a towel, wipe off the sweat, and make sure it's not in your eyes and all that stuff. Just kind of do the whole theatrics. Here's a first pitch ball for Eloy Lopez facing Savino Sanchez, the second baseman for the Coyotes.
Kick pellets on the plate, since you can't kick dirt.
Exactly. Bring your own, or go to the mound and get yourself a handful and just kind of put it on the plate. Whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
2-0 count here to Sanchez. Lopez trying to dial it back in. Here comes a pitch. This one a fastball.
That's in the gap.
Hit hard, right center field, and nice play by Garrett Fuentes. Play of the game.
That was nice.
The slide on the knees it's a hard play to do, and the reason for that is because you're in between. The layout dive is very hard because of the way you have to land and know what you're doing. But the full extension, sometimes it's like, hey, I got nothing to lose. If I miss it, I tried. But in this case, you're almost going to pass it, but you can't slow down. And you know what I mean? It's an in-betweener. Good play by Fuentes. That was phenomenal.
He was just frustrated about the call, so he said, you know what, I'm going to get back.
I'm not going to let that hold me down. Here comes the pitch. This one, a fastball for strike one, an 0-1 count here with one out. Nobody on. Cavemen lead 9-2. Today's broadcast brought to you by C&B Bank, serving the community for 100 years.
Wow.
And they added an extra couple of gestures today by giving out Cavemen towels to the fans that came in today. They gave out hand fans for the fans as well, and even Gatorade and protein bars for the Cavemen team. So a big shout out to our sponsor for today's doubleheader, the C&B Bank that you know and love here in your community. So a strikeout here for out number 2. DeMonico got up the line and tagged him. Not a lot of fight there from Palomino to try and get over to first base.
Yeah, I was going to say,
you
got to at least run it out a little bit just because, I mean, a throw 99% of the time is going to be there, but you just never know.
You just never know. Rico Lujan now up to bat for the Coyotes, and he fouls off the first pitch to the left side. So DHing today for the center fielder is Lujan. And in his first AB, flew out to the catcher into foul territory. Here comes the 0-1 count. Nice pitch there. Looked like a cut fastball, essentially. Maybe an in-between a cut fastball and a slider. But it came back a little bit to catch the inside corner. Nice pitch there from Lopez. Just attacking batters now. Unafraid. I think his mindset today is, let's put it in the zone. Let's fill it up. And you love that, especially as a high school coach. But in the third inning, he did have a bit of trouble. Here in the fourth inning, just trying to go right at him. And here comes another good pitch. This one fouled off. And Hernandez, as a third baseman, that's a play you absolutely love. On the run, you have to calibrate that. You have to practice it. But on the run, you have to aim more to the left because your momentum carries you. So if you throw straight at the first base, it's going to carry right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And those are the ones where you have to keep going. You can't plant your foot because you usually don't have the time. So
Exactly.
You do it kind of on the run.
So there's a nice strikeout again. Back-to-back strikeouts there for Eloy Lopez as he goes 3 up, 3 down, and the Cavemen now lead 9-2 here in the bottom of the fourth inning, trying to. I think this is going to be a revenge inning for the Cavemen, and it's not against the Coyotes, but it's against the umpiring on that questionable call.
Went out there and told Fuentes, hey, keep your head up. You did everything right. Just forget about it. Because, I mean, sometimes you can do everything right and the umpire or somebody else doesn't see it the way, the way it happened, I guess is the best way to say it. And you just don't get the call.
So the Cavemen now winning by 7 runs. And the run rule does not go into effect until the 5th inning, but the Cavemen still would need to score 3 more runs in order to be eligible for that in the 5th inning, and hold them, of course. But they've shown big fight here today, especially in the 2nd and 3rd inning. 2nd inning scoring 4, 3rd inning scoring 5, and what should have been 6 had the early vacate call not been called.
Or you could say 6+ because you just don't know how that, I mean, it's like a ... inning because you don't know how it's going to finish. But yeah, at least at one more.
Delmonico Granger Moreno with Buzzin' by Man as his walkout song, and he explained on the podcast that one of the reasons he chose that because he likes the beat. It's groovy, something everybody can get on board with, but also it says I feel like money, and his nickname used to be D-Money. He used to call him that. Here comes the first pitch to D-Money, and this one is a ball low.
So it's funny you don't hear that song that word too much, groovy. That's like
groovy.
a 70s or 60s song.
What do you think's more relevant now? Smooth?
Yeah, smooth.
Funky?
Or what was that thing called when the person looked good? What was the word that they used?
Suave? I don't know.
No, I think it was like
slick.
No.
Okay. 2-0 count here to Delmonico Granger Moreno, and here comes the third pitch of the AB. This one right over the plate for strike one. A 2-1 count. Granger Moreno flew out to right field in the first inning. Then in the second inning, grounded out to the third baseman. So he's looking for his first hit of the game.
Maybe it was tight or fresh. Maybe it was one of those two words.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess some of those people will be looking good tonight. Like, we'll find out what the word is.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The 2-2 count to the senior with no outs. Here comes the pitch. This one a curveball. This one drops in, and he did not like that call, but it is going to go down as strike 3 for out number 1. So now up to bat, Fabian Hernandez. Hernandez flew out to the third baseman in the first inning. Then in the third inning, he had a single and was scored in by Quintela with a bomb. Here's a fastball way off the plate. This one gets past, but nobody on, so no harm done. Still on the mound pitching for Roswell is Jacob Palomino, and he has to have over 150 pitches thrown by now. It has been a long day on the mound.
Yeah, and it's barely the bottom of the fourth, so yeah, I'm sure they don't have 5 or 6 more pitchers to go in. So,
but I'm guessing he's got to be close up to the 90s in terms of pitch count.
Yeah,
would you
I don't
say?
know what the limit is for
I
high
think
school.
it's 120.
Is
I
it
think
that
120 is the max you can do in one day, and then you're out for like 4 days or something. All right, 3-0 count. Here comes the pitch. This one a fastball way off the plate for ball 4, and Hernandez is on base with 1 out, bringing up the slugger of the day, Aiden Quintela, for the 3rd straight inning. And this is actually the 2nd straight inning that he has, or I'm sorry. Yeah, the 3rd straight inning he has gotten an at-bat. Here comes the first pitch. This one down on the plate, and Hernandez steals second base. So Hernandez stole 2 bags in his last appearance on the base paths. Right before Quintela hit a bomb, he was on third base with 2 stolen bases. So there's his 3rd of the day. Quintela awaits the pitch. Palomino has to be thinking about it. Here's a fastball. This one a nicely placed outside fastball for a strike. The 1-1 count. Back and forth. Here's another pitch. This one way off the plate for ball 2. 2-1 count.
I know they're not trying to pitch him something in the zone, but that one was a good, 2 feet off the plate?
Yes, that one was nowhere near.
I think that's signs of tired pitcher. Ooh.
So a 2-2 count here with 1 out. And this one in the dirt and outside for ball 3. So a full count to Aiden Quintela with a runner over at second base. All right, so there will be the Relay for Life coming up here pretty soon, May 3rd, Friday, May 3rd, starting at 6 p.m. until 8 a.m. on Saturday. It is a cancer awareness and fundraising walk. You can register or donate at relayforlife.com. So Relay for Life coming up on May 3rd. Make sure to participate or look maybe to go ahead and donate in a way. It is a great cause. It's always a fun event.
Yeah. Yeah, there's usually a lot of food trucks. There's a lot of people that go and camp out, and they cook out, and they just spend the night. And I remember we used to get a team with Keswabe, and we would take turns. Like, you'd get so many hours each, and then you'd spend the night, or you'd go do your walk and then go home or whatever. But, yeah, it's a good time to get together and just kind of have a in-town camp out.
Yeah, it really is. All right, so a 1-0 count here to Gus Risher. Runners at first and second, and here is a strike for the first strike of the AB, 1-1 count.
So he's got a walk and a base hit, or has he got 3 at-bats already?
A walk and a base hit, a 1-1 day at the plate for Risher. With 1 out, looked like he was going to try and put a bunt down. This one came in a bit too low, so a 2-1 count. When you're trying to put a sack bunt down, you really want it to be in the zone. It's not something that's that has other guys moving like a squeeze would.
Right.
So they're sitting there waiting until they see the ball down. And one of the things as a coach that you have to be able to communicate is you have to see the ball down. Sometimes it's easy to go, okay, I saw that it hit the bat, I'm going.
Yeah.
And then immediately you'll realize, oh, man, that was just off the ground, and somebody made a diving play or something, and now you're doubled up. So something you have to be aware of. But there's Risher with another that's back-to-back walks for the Cavemen, and it makes it a full bases loaded, And Hazen Wright now up to bat. All right, so Hazen Wright in his last AB, you guessed it, a bomb. And he's come around to score twice today. Hit into a fielder's choice in the second inning, but still came around to score. Here comes the pitch. This one a fastball outside for strike 1. So a big opportunity here for Hazen Wright. Wind still blowing hard out to left field. And Wright has the swing down. We know that. Here comes the pitch. This one hit to the second baseman. A double play opportunity for Roswell, and it's not going to go down, but the ball is thrown away, and it scores 2. So while the fielder's choice, Hazen Wright's able to plate 2.
Okay, how did he get second on that one? Oh, because it went into the dugout area?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So Aiden Quintela and Fabian Hernandez both score. Hazen Wright's over at second base with 2 outs. So Tanner Collins now up to bat. Collins has had a good day at the plate. 2 walks on the day. And he's worked some long counts. Here's a hard hit ball into left field. This one's going to be trouble, and it's going to get down for a ground rule double.
That should be the ball.
That one bounces over.
Oh, no, I guess not.
And Hazen Wright, boom, steps on the plate for another run, the 3rd run of the inning for the Cavemen with 2 outs. Tanner Collins beefs up that stat line with a nice double. So 1 for 1 with a double and 2 walks.
Well, that puts them up 10 runs, so I guess now they have to score as much as they can, I guess, but hold them, and that should be the ball game.
So here comes the AB for Garrett Fuentes. This one, a fastball low for ball 1. Fuentes has had a good day at the plate as well, a single and a walk. He was the out called at third base for not tagging up, though he did very clearly tag up. And Fuentes' highlight of the game came in a sliding catch in center field that you had actually said, hey, that's going to get down. And when you say something like that and it's caught, you know it's a good play.
Yeah.
A 1-1 count. This one fouled back. It's going to make it a 1-2 count. So a good day at the plate for the Cavemen. Pretty much up and down the lineup. Here comes the pitch. This one a 1-2 count. Gets away from the catcher, so the runner advances. And so Garrett's going to try and knock in the runner. That runner is Tanner Collins. Got some speed over there. All right, so Fuentes waiting the 2-2 pitch. Here it comes. Hard hit
nice.
over to second base and caught on a line drive. Hard hit ball over there. That's going to be, I don't know if this is an actual thing you put in the book, but I put L4. I always put that whenever I think it's a line drive, just easier to be able to say it. But is that a thing you can put in the,
I don't know.
or do you
I
still
mean,
put F4?
well, I mean, because it's not really a fly ball. I always used to put LD4, but it's
Oh.
pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
I think that way you know that the person hit it hard instead of just, because to me F4 is just a pop up to second. You know what I mean? It looks like you hit a little lazy pop fly. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's a whole different situation.
All right, so the Cavemen now have an opportunity to cut this game short. 12-2 lead. Eloy Lopez has been as efficient as they come, and he's on the mound to finish things off. If they can get this 3 up, 3 down, that would be ideal. He will be facing the 7, 8, and 9 batters of the lineup for Roswell: Isaac Loya, Luke Bogle, and Mason Greenhouse. But this is the part of the lineup that has been dangerous. We saw it in the 3rd inning. Isaac Loya started off the inning, and he had a double, followed by a hit by pitch by Luke Bogle. Greathouse put down a beautiful bunt to move over the runners, and Jackson McDonald hit a single to score 2. Those were the lone 2 runs. So this is where it started. So Eloy has to be smart here. This one hard hit, but straight up into center field for a pop fly caught by Garrett Fuentes. And he tosses that one in. 1 pitch, 1 out for Eloy Lopez with an F8. Luke Bogle now up to the plate. He has had only one other AB on the day, and it was a hit by pitch up in the shoulder area. So the windup and the pitch, this one. Fastball down the middle, fouled off, and on top of the new field house. So they've got a souvenir for the workers that will be going in there this week. It's funny because it seems like it's starting to kind of come together a little bit, that field house. But I think it's taken what feels like 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's been 2. But I remember one whole year they had the whole thing blocked off and no progress was made. And so that was frustrating as a student, I'm sure, because you couldn't park in that whole area. As a athlete, you're stuck out of there. And the baseball team's been in a portable for 3-4 years now. 3 years
for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. That's tough.
We came over here for some reason one day, and this is about a little over a year ago, and there was a worker that they were still trying to dig the foundation, and they said that they were losing like
bits all day
because
of the rock.
It was just so much rock, it was just tearing them up. So yeah, they probably didn't expect some of that stuff.
Yeah, and I wonder at what point is the ground hard enough and you can kind of like block off an area big enough where you need to start using dynamite to make, small pops and break up some of that stuff. If that's is that not a thing anymore? I'm sure it is in bigger sites. Here's a fastball inside for a swinging strike 3.
Strike 3 for out number 2.
Honestly, I don't think for a footing, though. The footing's probably going to be 12 to 24 inches. Maybe we used a rock saw at our house to dig some of the to dig a trench. So maybe something like that. And it's got diamond in a big.
It's crazy.
So yeah, it's tough.
It's crazy the kind of grades of diamonds that you can work with, because when you're digging something like that, you're using the like low grade ones that aren't very pretty and stuff, but still worth money. And then you've got the stuff that's worth like tons of money, and it's like near perfect and stuff. Now they
And
do
it's worth
now they do
millions.
lab made.
I was going to say
diamonds.
that the diamonds they're saying are going to be worth less probably because you can make them in a matter of hours instead of
Crazy.
so much time like finding them back.
And there it is to finish off the game. Eloy Lopez with a backwards K. Pitch right down the middle. 3 pitches, 3 strikes to Mason Grayhouse, and he finishes off that game. Eloy Lopez with a phenomenal game on the mound. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strikeouts in 5 innings of work. Allowed 2 runs and only 2 hits on the day. So great job by Eloy Lopez. A 12-2 win by the Cavemen. This broadcast brought to you by CNB Bank. We appreciate them for making this happen. The second game of the doubleheader will start here in probably, I would guess, around 20 to 30 minutes. So be on the lookout. We'll get started here again pretty soon. Thank you guys for watching All Sports Best. We'll be back here for game 2. All right, folks, you're here for game 2 of the doubleheader. My name's Trey Gonzalez. I'm here alongside Ruben Gonzalez of All Sports Best. And we are sponsored today by CNB Bank as Fabian Hernandez takes the mound for the Cavemen to get things started off of the Cavemen's 12-2 win in 5 innings. Here comes the first pitch of the game, and it is a base hit into right field for Jackson McDonald. So right away, with just one pitch, the Coyotes get a runner on.
Bring up number 15, Eli Lynn.
So now up to bat for the Coyotes is Eli Lynn. With a runner on first base, no outs. Hernandez, pitch, fastball right down the middle, popped up into the middle infield. Looks like Jonas Molinar calling it off, and he catches this one, leaned back. As that one was probably a lot of sun interference, but he makes the catch for out number 1. So a good job there by Fabian Hernandez. 2 pitches, 2 batted balls, 1 for a single, 1 for an out, pop fly. So now up to bat is Noah Lynn, the first baseman for the Coyotes. So the pickoff move over to first base is not in time. And Hernandez comes set. Once again, another pick over to first base. Just a little bit late. And the Cavemen here have a situation on defense with a runner on first base with 1 out. Noah Lynn up to the plate. Noah Lynn is. I think the Cavemen are convinced that he's going to be taking that steal attempt here shortly. The 1-0 count here to Noah Lynn. The pitch, fastball right down the middle for strike 2. I'm sorry, for strike 1. 1-1 count. Wind still into effect the same way that it was in game 1. Lots of wind. It might be a little bit more from home plate out to left field. It was from foul pole to foul pole. Now it looks like it shifted slightly out in the hitter's favor, even more than it was before. Here's a pop fly into right field. This one has Tanner Collins under it, and he makes the play for out 2. So an F9 there for out 2, bringing up Savino Sanchez.
Brings up number 12, Savino Sanchez.
So on the mound today for the Cavemen is Fabian Hernandez. He was at third base in the first game. And Eloy Lopez was on the mound. Here's a fastball outside for strike 1. A good pitch there to the 4-hole batter, Savino Sanchez. All right, so here comes another pitch. This one just a bit low, makes it a 1-1 count. So one of the things that they're talking about now in the MLB is umpires and how many mistakes have been made this season. It is big time. And apparently it's just the bottom 10% of umpires is what has been the biggest problem. And it's easy as a fan to say the umpiring as a whole has been terrible, but that would simply just not be true. Media can easily blow up the bad things more than the good. You're not going to really see a strikeout call right down the middle and they're going to replay that one. So you do see it a lot more the negative than the positive, but that has been a concern. And actually here, I think even locally we'll see that be a concern for umpires because of the declining demand of, no, not the declining demand of umpires, but the declining profession. Not as many umpires available. As a matter of fact, this game was supposed to be, both games were supposed to be played on Friday, but it was moved to Saturday for the lack of umpires available. So it makes you wonder, the more that they get scrutinized on TV, is that going to make it less desirable as a local umpire? So here is the full count here for Fabian Hernandez, the runner on first base. He's going to try and get out of this one. Here's a pickoff right over to first once again. Hazenwright puts the tag down. So Savino Sanchez in the first game struck out and flew out. Went 0 for 2 in the same 4-hole spot.
Fabian's paying a lot of attention to this runner at first.
Yes, he is.
With 3-2 count, I think you got to get the strike in the zone because he's going no matter what.
And the Cavemen have for sure seen a lot of success with the pickoff. We've seen just in the games that I've been able to be here for. I think I've done 4 games total with the last game included, and I think that the Cavemen pitching staff has picked off in those 4 games about 6 batters. So you just, whether they got them out or they just pulled them off the bag, it was successful. So I think that's something that they definitely key in on. So runners on first and second. Here's a fastball just a bit low for the umpire's taste.
I feel like this umpire is going to be a little bit different strike zone than the other one.
Maybe a tad tighter.
Yeah.
1-0 count. With 2 outs, 0-0 ball game here in the top of the first inning. Hard hit ball into left field foul. Make it a 1-1 count. So for those of you that have never been to the Cavemen Corral, the right field wall is a much different height than the left field wall. So in left field, you're looking at about a 6-foot wall. In right field, you're looking at about an 8-foot wall. Why that is, I'm not sure. I think it's probably the same sized fence. It's just they maybe dug it out more, or I'm not sure how that happened. Maybe the field is built up differently. And here's a nice play.
Nice play by Lopez.
Over to third base. Eloy Lopez saved a run there on that play. There's no doubt about it. For out number 3 on Isaac Loya. So a 5U is going to send this thing over into the bottom of the first inning with the Cavemen and the Coyotes tied up 0-0. Today's ball game is brought to you by CNB Bank, serving your local community for 100 years. Thank you for your support, CNB Bank. And they want to say, go Cavemen. We handed out all 100 Cavemen towels from CNB Bank and all 100 hand fans. So they're going to be scattered throughout the stands here today, a lot of the fans. I think a towel is always a cool thing to take home just because you can always use it or leave it in your car and have it available. But as a sponsor, it's kind of cool when you see somebody pull it out of their backpack or something to use it, and it's just like, hey, there's my brand.
Yeah, for sure.
Good to go.
Well, they were giving away a bunch of shirts and caveman caps here at the game, too. So you see that group of boys down there, they were all wearing different shirts and caps when they came in, and now there's like 8 of them that all have the same things on.
All right, so the Cavemen are going to look to try and get things going once again as they had a solid game 1. The first inning last game was a 3 up, 3 down, if I'm not mistaken. But then after that, they started to take care of business. A 4-inning second and a 5-inning sixth
run
for the Cavemen, or a 5-run inning. Put them 9-0 in the top of the 4th inning. And then they went ahead and scored 3 more to make it 12. They won 12-2 and won in the run rule in 5 innings. So leading off for the Cavemen once again is Eloy Lopez.
Up first for your Cavemen, number 3, Eloy Lopez.
And he'll be followed by Delmonico Moreno Granger, or Granger Moreno. All right, so number 3, Eloy Lopez playing third base today. Already made a good play. Here's a hard hit ball straight back at the pitcher, and he caught that one. Good reflexes there. And
yeah, that was a great hit, but even a better what do you call it? Defensive play because
It really was.
It was
Brings up number
either get
16,
hit
the
or
Waco
catch the
Ranger,
ball.
Moreno.
That's right. No, those can definitely be dangerous. We've seen guys get hit in the head before on comebackers, and if there's any way that you're going to keep a mom from wanting somebody to play a position, it's something like that for pitchers. So you just never know what could happen, but luckily there, nobody was hurt. A good play there.
I wonder if they'll ever go to the mask as a pitcher for baseball like they do in softball. You know, in softball, the pitcher usually wears a mask, and a lot of times the first and third baseman, just because they get right up there on you, and it's you know, a little safer. But right there, I mean, yeah, you could take your head off easily.
Yeah, that's tough. So Luke Lynn on the mound for the Roswell Coyotes, and he gets Granger Moreno to a 1-1 count here with one out. A very hard hit ball by Eloy Lopez, caught up the middle by Lynn. And a big sigh of relief from, I'm sure, the dugout and the parents in the stands.
And the pitcher himself.
Yes. So a 2-1 count, one out. Here comes the pitch. This one just misses Granger Moreno. I don't even know how. It almost looked like it went through him.
When you said just misses, it made it seem like just misses on the plate. But, yeah, it just missed his body. I don't know how it didn't hit him either. Thought for sure it hit his uniform.
So Lynn, the leg kick, the pitch. This one, fastball low off the catcher's mitt, and it's going to be a walk here for Granger Moreno. All right, Fabian Hernandez trying to do some damage to help himself out. It goes Hernandez, and then it goes Aiden Quintela, who was hot as can be last game and brought in, 3-4 RBIs out of 12 off of 2 bombs. Had an interview with him after the game to post on social media later on today, and he said it felt good. The first one came off the bat a lot better. He said that it was for sure gone, and from the booth up here, it looked like the second one was more for sure gone from our angle, but as a hitter, you kind of know what it feels like, and he knew. So right there, a pass ball is going to move the runner. And running today for Granger Moreno is number 4, Hunter Dowdy. So Hunter Dowdy over there at second base in scoring position for Fabian Hernandez. The 1-0 count. Here it comes. The pitch. This one, fastball. Inside, just misses. For the second ball of the AB. So Hernandez did a good job in the last game to get on base. A few times put his team in a good position to win. And there's a slider off the plate, called for a strike, surprisingly enough. And yeah, this is what Hernandez's day looks like so far. A 1-for-2 day with a walk in game 1. The 2-1 count with 1 out. Here comes the pitch. This one hit hard over to third base, fielded, and tossed over to first base for out number 2. So a 5-3 out number 2, bringing up Aiden Quintela with a runner in scoring position. He's liked that so far.
I feel like the 2 balls that were hit so far have been really hit hard.
Yes.
Hit him on the nose, just right at him.
Let's go back and reflect on Quintela's day. It was 2 for 2 with 2 bombs and a walk in game 1. Quintela saw the ball big time at that point. So Quintela is now up to bat, followed by Gus Risher. The 0-1 count. This one hit high into center field. Third baseman calling it, and he makes the catch.
Did you say high into center field?
I'm just losing it. But
like,
out number 3 for the infield pop fly from Aiden Quintela for out number 3. So 0-0 ball game, same kind of situation as we saw in game 1, where not much happened, and then second inning was when things really started to happen. So we're going to see what goes down here in the top of the second inning as the Coyotes send up Rico Lujan, Jacob Palomino, and Luke Lynn here in just a bit. All right, so we just, in between games, got a chance to check out the concession stand. Got a chili cheese dog with jalapenos on it. And was it a dangerous move on my part? I don't know. You guys be the judge in the comment section. Is that always a big risk, or is it totally fine? They were delicious. So my taste buds say it was not a risk at all. It was great. What do you think, Ruben? You had one?
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Rate it 1 through 10.
I'd probably give it about a 8.5. I think the dog itself was not that warm, but everything else was great.
For the Coyotes, number 23, Rico Lujan.
All right, so Rico Lujan now up to bat for the Roswell Coyotes as they try to put up the first runs of the inning. And Rico Lujan batting 6-hole as he was in game 1. Couple of lineup changes for the Coyotes, but for the most part, still around the same. Here's a pitch from Hernandez. Hernandez rocking the pink and blue glove. And I guess, I don't know if I didn't notice it or if he changed gloves in between innings, but here's a high hit pop fly into left field. This one caught low from Gus Risher.
That pitching motion right there almost seemed like he just crow hopped it. You know what I mean? Like he was doing a relay from the outfield. It almost looked like he wasn't. He started into his windup and then he just like took it. Did you see that or no?
I did.
Yeah, that's unusual.
Yeah, and he uses stuff like that to kind of just change batters' timings. We've seen it a couple times, but
I know we saw him before, like where he'd hesitate for a long time. He'd hold that leg up, you know what I mean, for 5 to 10 minutes, and then he would finally release the ball.
So I saw a video actually on Marcus Stroman because he does a lot of the same types of things. He'll kind of do his wiggle and hold, and he'll quick pitch and do those types of things. And there it is again. But as a batter, you're always used to apparently getting into a rhythm with a pitcher, right? So like if a guy's throwing, I don't know, 90 miles an hour, you kind of have to, you're going to start your rhythm with him. He gets into his windup. It's going to be the same because as a pitcher, at least in my experience, I always wanted to kind of keep it the same because consistency in my windup would mean consistency as an outcome. But these guys, which that was a beautiful slider, by the way.
Yeah, it was.
Backdoor slider for strike 3. But a lot of times hitters do get into a rhythm, and on deck they're sitting there getting their timing down. And so now they're already on timing with you, and they just have to make contact. Is it easy to do? Still not easy to do. But if you can't keep them consistently at that same release point or same release time, then you're really disrupting a batter's rhythm, and they're not going to get into that. So that was something that Marcus Stroman had said, that a couple of batters had gone up to him and said, I can get into a rhythm with just about any pitcher but you. Here's a pop fly into right field. This one's going to be up to Tanner Collins, and he makes the play for out number 3, a 3-up, 3-down inning for Fabian Hernandez. Couple of pop flies and a strikeout as he moves into the bottom of the second inning. So Cavemen trying to make quick work on defense. They're going to try and tack on some runs here in the bottom of the second inning. Today's broadcast brought to you by CNB Bank, serving the community for 100 years. And we mentioned it on the first game's broadcast, but they actually provided Gatorades and protein bars to the Cavemen this week, just kind of as a nice gesture. I think that's always cool as a player. You just kind of I always expected water, and sometimes when you'd see Gatorades for the team, you're just like, oh my gosh. It was like
It's like
a
gold.
goal.
Huh?
Yes, it was 100%. I don't know what it's like now, if that's just typical or what it might be, but I know that back in the day that was a big treasure. So a big shout out to CMB Bank for sponsoring today's games for the broadcast and for their giveaways to the boys and the fans. All right, alongside with us today is Laura Whaley doing pictures and representing Red Rocket Media for the production of today's broadcast, so a big shout out to her, what she's doing as well. She got a couple of really cool pictures of Hazen Wright's bomb in game one, kind of like the bat toss action shot too, so pretty sweet. So here's Gus Risher coming up for the Cavemen. So here comes the leg kick and the pitch. This one right down the middle, hit hard. Opposite field, and it just gets under the glove of the second baseman for a single there. So a nice start to the inning for Gus Risher, and he's going to try and get a rally going as it brings up Hazen Wright. All right, once again, Hazen Wright had a bomb in game one. And his day looked like a home run and two fielders' choices. So 1 for 3 on the day, one of them a bomb. Here's a pop fly into left field in no man's land. Yes, it is. And the hop was a little bit tricky off the turf, too, so that actually gave an extra base. Just barely squeaks under. It was Gus Risher. But that's going to be a nice double there for Hazen Wright.
Yes, the other hits earlier were, for the other team, were line drive shots, you know what I mean? And then the one that the leadoff batter did back to the pitcher, and that one was just kind of a, you know, like they call a seeing eye single, but it just kind of dropped in there in no man's land. It's tough as a defensive or as a pitcher.
So here's Tanner Collins with 2 runners in scoring position and the best opportunities thus far for the Cavemen to score runs this game. Here's a nice slider. I think what's impressive about this slider today being thrown by Lynn is its late bite. You'll notice that it looks like it's coming straight. I don't know if he just puts really good spin on it or how he cuts into the ball, but it feels like halfway through it starts to have its sweet movement. And it's pretty moving. And there's a fastball. That one's got some tail to it. And when you have a pitcher that throws over the top the way he does, for him to have movement, tailing movement on his fastball is rare. So let's go through it again. 1-1 count. Kind of a short-armed over-the-top pitch motion for Lynn, but good movement out of his hand. So Tanner Collins looking to keep his day going and keep it pretty solid. He had 2 walks and a double in game one. This one hit hard in a right center field. It's not going to drop. It gets caught, but it's going to be a sacrifice fly, and the first run of the game belongs to the Cavemen. Gus Risher comes across to score.
Brings up number 12, Garrett Fuentes.
Yeah, that's what's crazy about, like, they got runners in scoring position, and it makes it nice in that situation because he just hit a regular fly out, which would have been in the books as an 0 for 1, but it turns into a sacrifice fly and a run scored and no plate appearance for the batter.
That's right. All right, so there is ball 1 to Garrett Fuentes. Fuentes made the play of the game in the outfield last game. In center field, slid on his knees to make a play that looked like it was out of reach, and he made it happen. So it was pretty impressive. He is starting in center field once again in this game.
I feel like this pitcher may not get too many calls because this last ball, he looked like he thought it was a strike, and then the umpire didn't call it a strike, and he kind of threw his hands up. Like, you know, that's always a red flag.
It is a risk you're taking when you do that, no doubt. All right, 3-0 count here to Fuentes, and Fuentes lets this one go for strike 1. So Jonas Molinar, number 9, on deck. Here comes the pitch. This one a 3-1 count. Hard hit ball. This one foul by about 6 feet. So the Cavemen sent out the same exact lineup from game 1 to game 2, and why would you not? 12 runs put on the board. Be hard to make any changes after that. 3-2 count, 1 out. The pitch. This one way high and inside. That's going to walk him. So Garrett Fuentes makes his contribution, offensive
he takes
contribution.
off to second base.
And he's going to get caught up between first and second, making Roswell make a decision here. And Fuentes can get back to first base easily. And they're going to force an error here. And so Hazen Wright's going to come in to score. And Fuentes is going to get all the way over to third base. And a sloppy play there by Roswell works in the Cavemen favor. And in that situation, Ruben, what are you wanting your athletes to do?
Well, as a pitcher, I'm wanting to run straight at the runner at second, and then I'm going to be, of course, watching. If that guy starts going probably even as far as he does, then you put it in somebody else's hands. But when you go to throw behind the runner, then sometimes it gets sticky because, if he gets him, he just gets back to the base. You know what I mean? But it's tough unless you got strong arms and pinpoint accuracy. It's a tough play all the way around.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, the running at him thing is always nice. If he's closer to second base, you get rid of it. But you just, once again, I do like that he looked back and forth to the batter. What you're really looking for is, are you going to see that batter break? Because when you throw it to third base to get him on the comeback, you've already lost.
Yeah.
When the error happens and it goes wide and gives guys extra bases. It was a disaster of a play, but really right there what you're trying to do is damage control.
Right. And if you get it to maybe one of the middle infielders, they can see it from a better angle too. Because the other one, you're turning around, looking back and back, back and forth. You're kind of playing like a pickle, but you're in the middle.
Exactly. So. Yeah, so you're turned around. You want to get rid of it or just charge at him, make him go back to first base and start back over from where you should be. So here's a curveball that got a little bit of a high release point for ball 2. So a 2-1 count to Jonas Molinar. With a runner over at third base, the Cavemen have scored 2 runs this inning. There is no pitch clock in high school, but it is after high school, activated at the Division I level and at the pro level in all levels of pros now.
Yeah, I didn't know it was in college. I thought it was just pro ball.
Yeah, I think it was like more of a subtle, like, yep, it's happening this year, and we kind of didn't catch it. But that is something that it has been implemented. I think I like it from a fan standpoint, just being able to go, okay, I know that it's going to be fairly quick. Here's a ball hit up the middle from Molinar. They're going to field it and toss him out over at first base. And he moves over the runner for another run for the Cavemen. So an RBI for Jonas Molinar on the 6-3 out number 2. So now up to bat is Eloy Lopez with nobody on, 2 outs. Cavemen lead 3-0. Three to 0, the Cavemen lead. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and checking out the game today. With us, the doubleheader. Cavemen trying to make it their second run rule. All right, so here's a pitch high. Make it a 1-2 count, and they're going to try and double check to see if he had gone on that one. I thought it was pretty clear he didn't, but as an umpire, I think that's one of the harder things to do is to say he did or didn't go. I do like the fact that you can check down. That's always been a thing you could check down to the other umpire for, and it only makes sense. Here's a ground ball over to shortstop. Fielded and tossed out for out number 3. Eloy Lopez records a third out of the inning, and the Cavemen finish up, but not before scoring 3 runs here in the second inning. So a solid inning, starting with a base hit by Gus Risher, a double by Hazen Wright, and then a sac fly by Tanner Collins. After that, it was a walk by Garrett Fuentes and a couple of savvy moves. Moved him over to third base, eventually moved over by Jonas Molinar. So, Ruben, a pretty nice day out. We're getting that heat that we're used to here in New Mexico. It felt like we were in cold season for a very long time, maybe longer than I'm used to.
Yeah, it got warm a little bit, but then it got cold again, so it wasn't. But now I feel like it's kind of here to stay more than it is cold weather. But I was going to say, I saw on social media the other day, or maybe it was today, where the end of an era is coming in basketball with Durant kind of coming towards the end of his career, Steph Curry and LeBron James, 3 guys that don't look like they may ever win another championship. And, man, it's crazy because they've all been such big parts of the basketball world for, shoot, I don't know, 10 to 20 plus years.
Yeah, I mean, it is crazy. It's funny to look back at, if you've seen the graphic between LeBron's first year and when he was first put in a video game to now, it's like looking at a cartoon compared to a real life form, and it kind of speaks to how technology's come, but it's not like it's come a long way in 5 years. I mean, the guy's been in the league for a long time. He's been a staple in basketball across the board since he was like a junior in high school. Everybody's known about him. So it is crazy to see that happening. I think the Lakers had a good enough team to put together a decent season. They just didn't have it, I don't think, in terms of what you expect from a team with those names. But those names, like you said, they've been around for a while, and they're not as young, and, it's not as easy to put together games like that. But, I mean, he's still working at a crazy high efficient level. It's just a matter of making that happen. The Nuggets are insane this year.
Yeah, it is. They are. The thing that's crazy to me is they ended up as the 7 seed, and they were talking about, they should probably lose that play-in game and get the 8 seed. That way they'd get Minnesota.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And that might get them a chance to maybe get their feet wet and, get some games under them and then be ready for.
Minnesota looks good against the Suns.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
They're good. All right, a 1-1 count here for Hernandez. This one popped up, and this one's going into the parking lot. Will it get the bus? It does.
Oh, it does on the bounce, on the carom.
Smokes the bus, and so Roswell now is down a bus. They won't be able to get home today.
Well, they got somebody out there looking at it. I think the bus driver's going to go see what the heck happened. It probably woke him up from his nap.
All right, 1-2 count. High winds blowing out towards left field. Has been like that all day long. Definitely has an effect on a pop fly in that direction.
We should have went and played golf this morning because that's always good from a golf game to say it was windy. I had a good game except for it was windy.
You don't play the holes that are against you, the wind, though, huh?
No.
And there's a hard hit ball in the left center field. This one's going to be a double, possibly a triple. He's going to attempt it. No, he's not. He's going to hold up. Good call there. He might have been hosed down over at third base had he attempted it, but big play there by the 9-hole batter with a hard hit shot in the left center field for a double. Emmanuel Anchondo with that hit. So that brings up the top of the lineup with a runner on second base and no outs, situation that everybody wants in the game of baseball. Speaking of the game of baseball, what? Like we're not talking about it all day? I will be on ESPN Plus on Tuesday night, 6 p.m. If you guys want to tune in on ESPN Plus, the New Mexico State Aggies will take on the UNM Lobos in Las Cruces, New Mexico. I'll be on the broadcast. Love to have you guys go and check it out. A brand new opportunity, hoping to do a good job on there. A little nervous, be honest with you. But we'll go ahead and see how it goes. Here's Fabian Hernandez checking back to second base. The 0-1 count. The leg kick and the pitch. This one off the turf for ball 1. So check out, if you don't have ESPN Plus, I think it's like $10 for a month subscription. But I will probably try and get some footage and chop it up and put it on social media to check out later as well. And
No,
Hernandez steps off.
I feel like there's always a good game between New Mexico State and the Lobos.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be a pretty cool game to watch and listen to.
10 years ago when I was there, here's a ground ball over to third base. Nice play by Eloy Lopez. He tosses it over to first base effortlessly. It comes out of his hand nicely.
Yeah.
And playing third base, you got to have a strong arm. Eloy Lopez does.
Well, I like the
And
way
there's an out.
I like the way he moved to his left, and then he kind of ran the runner back, making sure that he wasn't going anywhere, and then he made a good, strong throw.
Yes,
a lot of times
absolutely.
people look him back and go, and then that guy takes off, and then he can make it to third base.
Sure. But, yeah, about 10 years ago, what I was saying was that UNM and NMSU would play twice a year, two midweek games. It's kind of like a fun thing to go watch. Here's a pop fly in
That's
a
a deep one.
center field. This one's going to be a tough one to run down. He's not going to get there. Almost a ground rule double over the center field wall, which would have been crazy to see. It was probably
Which is
2
probably
feet short.
14 feet tall, maybe.
I would say so. It's,
Yeah,
it's up
it's-
there. So it probably bounced 12 feet up.
Oh, for sure.
Off the turf, but that was struck really well, and that's going to bring around the first run of the game for the Coyotes. Eli Young with the double.
Bring up number 17.
Eli Young, that's an interesting name.
Eli Lynn, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. But, yeah, it used to be 2 games. This year they're playing 4 games.
Oh, really?
They've played 2 games so far. Both teams have won in their home field, and so Cruces is where they're going to play on Tuesday. Then they'll play in Albuquerque, I think, a couple weeks from then. But UNM looking like a pretty solid squad this year. Their record doesn't really show it, but they beat Texas Tech pretty solid, and Texas Tech is a really good
They're
squad.
usually a top 20 team.
They are a big team this year as well. I think they're like, I want to say, I looked at their record, it was like 27-12 or something. So,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, they're playing really good teams. 27 wins isn't just 27 wins. It's like grinded out programs, that you got to play against.
So do the Lobos play at Isotopes Field, or do they have their own facility?
The Lobos play in at their UNM field, and I'm not sure what it's called. It's probably just Lobo Field, but it's right there behind the pit. So they've been playing there since 2014, I think.
Oh, okay.
But they did play at Isotopes Field for a while.
Oh, yeah, that's
It was
right.
like a 4-year deal where they were getting their field redone and returfed and just restructured, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I can picture it. Yeah. So both.
It's a
both
nice field.
facilities are nice with nice.
Yeah, they
bleachers and-
both are really nice, and both of them are similar in the way that both teams are so used to playing with crazy wind. Here's a strike 3.
I think the only thing I don't like about UNM's field is, if I can remember, is they don't have any kind of shade. I feel like
Yeah,
it's
it is a
all-
hot
Yeah.
stands for the fans. There's no doubt. So, but in Cruces, they do have a cover. In number 2, I'll be in the booth, so
Heck
won't
yeah.
have to worry about weather too much other than what we're talking about. But, yeah, I talked to the head broadcaster, and very professional, very good at what he does. His name's Adam Young. And he just asked him about it. What do I need to know? What do I need to be ready for? When we do our broadcasts here, we get to be loose and have some fun, and we're talking about the game. We can talk about things outside of the game as well. As we see the runner there advance, Eli Young over at third base now. Savino Sanchez at the plate with a 1-0 count, 2 outs. And he just said, we're going to be talking about baseball. Did I say Young again?
Yeah.
Sorry, Eli Lynn over at third base. Here's a pitch down in the turf again, and makes it a 2-0 count. But, yeah, we'll be talking about just the game at hand, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it makes it a lot.
It seems
more relaxing.
easier.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. And it'll be the first time I get to work with replay. So the 2-0 count. This one a fastball. Close, but a little low. Makes it a 3-0 count. Runner at third base. Fabian Hernandez with 2 outs wants to get out of this one and leave that runner stranded if he can. The windup and the pitch. This one fastball right down the middle.
I
It
thought
looked
that was
like a
pretty
good pitch.
Yeah. That was too
So-
good to call ball.
Gonna bring up number 8, Isaac Loyan.
So a base on balls for Savino Sanchez makes it a situation with runners on first and third. 3-1 ball game. And the tying run is over at first base now with Isaac Loya at the plate. Isaac Loya grounded out to third base. Eloy Lopez made a really nice play on that one. But in game one, Loya had a double to start off their 2-run inning in the third and a pop fly to center field. Here comes the pickoff, and he got him at first base.
Yeah, that was a nice little play.
So good play there by Fabian Hernandez to get the pickoff over at first base. It was the fake to third, turn to first, pickoff move, and runner committed a little bit too hard and then backtracked.
Yeah, well, see, my question is if the pitcher's going to third, why are you breaking? I mean, if he's going to third, you kind of wait and see what's going to happen because, you know what I mean? I don't know. It just seems like, why is he going to third? To keep him honest, whatever. So I guess you got to kind of expect that, but, sometimes you just, caught up in the moment, like, hey, as soon as he makes a move, I'm going, and in that situation, he was out by a long shot.
My only, explanation for that at first base is that when you see a pitcher's legs start to come down and it's not picking off to you, you just maybe kind of in your head think he's going to the plate.
Right.
And so maybe that's the instinct that kind of kicked in, was like, okay, now I got to get my secondary. And then that's why he went back, because he realized, oh, wait a minute, that's not a normal throwing motion. And it was too late. So good job by Hernandez. Saved himself on a pickoff move there. And it's going to bring up the Cavemen here in the bottom of the third inning, winning 3-1. It's going to be Delmonico Granger Moreno, followed by Fabian Hernandez, then Aiden Quintela, and somehow there's no center fielder right now for Roswell. I don't know where he was.
No, it's funny because they threw the ball down to second, but the shortstop and the second baseman were over there off to the side, so they didn't get it. And then the center fielder wasn't out there, so everybody kind of looked at the catcher like, what are you doing? We're not even ready for you to throw it to second base. But they had to go chase it down.
So slightly embarrassing situation for Roswell right there, but here we go. Get the first pitch going. For the bottom of the third inning, Delmonico Granger Moreno up to bat. He had a walk in the first inning. Got stranded at second base. Here's a pitch. This one outside for ball 2. First baseman throwing his hands up. Like, where was that?
That must be his brother.
Could be. There's 3 Lins on the roster today and in the lineup today as well. Here's a pop fly into foul territory. Is it going to stay in play? It looks like it is, and it's going to be is that going to be a fair ball? Did he touch it? If he touched it, that's going to be fair, but if he didn't touch it, it's foul.
No, but if he touched it in foul territory, so it's still a foul because that's where the ball was contact. You know what I mean? Even if it deflected off of him.
Number 20.
But he almost fell down on that bat, and of course that wouldn't have been the. Okay, so what happened there? Now he's coming back.
Okay, so it's going to be a foul ball.
Yeah, it's going to foul ball, but did you see it kind of tripped over that bat? But that's not the catcher's fault. You know what I mean? He can't control the bat.
Or the hitter's fault. But in this case, I thought that if it touches your glove and your glove is in fair territory, even if you're in foul territory,
no, but
it would be fair.
The glove was in foul territory. It's just it deflected off the glove and went to fair. You know what I'm saying?
You think so?
Yeah,
okay.
That's exactly
From my perception, it looked like it was his glove was like
no.
He moved backwards and it hit. So that's where I saw it. I thought, okay, base hit.
Well, we need to get with Red Rocket and get replay for next year. So we'll just put that in
we'll put a ticket
Damien's ear.
We'll put a ticket in. Here's a 2-1 count. Swung on and missed for strike 2. So now a 2-2 count.
That'll just be more work for Laura.
Granger Moreno trying to reach base for the second time today. Here comes the leg kick and the pitch. This one fouled off. So the couple of the big highlights from game 1 was a Hazen Wright home run and a 2-home run day, big day for Aiden Quintela. So he has to be the hitter of the game without a doubt. And Cavemen went on to score 12 runs.
And
I'd say between the 2 home runs, there's probably 5 RBIs right there, right?
for sure.
Yeah.
And then you've got Lopez that pitched a pretty darn good game.
He did.
Just gave
5
up
innings.
a couple of hits and some
Mhm.
runs, but yeah, it was a great game for him. I guess the bus
Delmonico.
decided it didn't like to be in the foul ball range, so he moved out a little bit out of the way.
All right, that's a strike 3 called on an inside fastball. That one was pretty good, I thought. Kind of tough to put it in the umpire's hands there, so
Number 20.
strike 3 is the decision made, and out number 1.
And sometimes I think it's a tough call too because the batter takes off like, you know what I mean? Hey, that's
Yeah,
ball
like I'm
4.
for sure. I know what I'm doing for
So
sure.
the umpire's like, you're not going to show me up.
Right. So now up to bat, Fabian Hernandez, who is on the mound today for the Cavemen.
Oh,
And here's a hard hit ball in the left field. This
That
one's
could
going to
be
get
2.
down. And it
that's 2 for sure.
slid and bobbled the ball over in left field. Pretty good throw over to second base. Had he not dropped the ball initially, might not have had a second base attempt, but a double for Fabian Hernandez to help his own cause. So good job for the 3-hole batter for the Cavemen. Now
Got a courtesy runner, number 13, going in to run for Hernandez.
So Riley Hernandez is going to be over at second base now in replacement for Fabian Hernandez on the base path. We've got Aiden Quintela up to bat with a runner on second base. Aiden has been dangerous today.
Aren't there 3 Hernandez in this lineup too for the Cavemen? Not in the lineup, but like this one just came in is Riley Hernandez, and then
Yes.
you've got Fabian, and then isn't there one more?
So I don't believe that Riley and Jace are,
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they're related to Fabian, but they are brothers.
Oh, okay.
So here's a pitch down in the right on the plate for ball 1, a 1-0 count. And if you're Roswell, you're definitely second guessing where you're going to throw a pitch to Aiden Quintela or Hazen Wright today. Hazen had a home run in Roswell as well, so in both games that he's seen Roswell, he's hit a home run. Got to be careful around these guys. At least in your mind, you're thinking that.
Yeah, especially with the base open, it's like, you know what, I'm not going to pitch too good of pitches. You know what I mean? Nibble on the corners, maybe make him chase something, but yeah, you're not going to throw one inside corner or inside fastball.
2-0 count. Checking back the runner over at second base. Here's a high pitch for ball number 3. 3-0 count. All right, so if you guys see something in the comments section that says where to watch the game, do not click on it, please. It is when we advertise the games we'll be broadcasting, they'll say you can watch it here. Do not click on any links in the comment section unless it comes from the All Sports Best official account. It just becomes a risk.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. All right, so here comes the pitch. This one right down the middle for strike 1 to Gus Risher. So runners on first and second. Quintela made it over to first base on a walk. And Risher is followed by Hazen Wright. Risher had a single in the second inning and came around to score. Here's a wild pitch.
Runners advance.
And I don't even know if you'd consider that a wild pitch. It was down. I would say that was just a pass ball.
Yeah, it was kind of a combination because he spiked it about, 3 feet in front of the plate. So, I mean, you'd think he'd come up with it as a catcher, but
Yeah,
at the same time, it was the pitch that caused that.
that's a good point. The 1-1 count, 1 out. Hard winds over in the left field still happening. And I actually we're going to look it up right now. It's 80 degrees right now. And I don't have the wind. Where's the wind at? Here we go. Okay, so the wind is showing 20 miles an hour. Speeds from 4 to 26 miles an hour with gusts up to 37. Enough to probably, what would you say 20 miles an hour of wind would do to a baseball in the air? Probably add another 15, 20 feet. Here's a hard hit ball in the left field. And Cavemen tag up and almost over-exaggerate it to make sure that they don't get called for that one. But so Jace Hernandez, I'm sorry, Riley Hernandez comes, tags up and scores.
He jumped up and down twice on the bag before he took off.
Right, exactly.
Sure.
Just to make it very well known. So,
well, thinking about your question, I would say, yeah, it's hard to say exactly unless you're sports science, but yeah, I'd say probably 15 to 25 feet further.
yeah, and it depends obviously on a lot of different variables. How high is this hit? How far is it hit? How long is it in the air for? You know, if you just pop it up on a bunt, it's not going to carry 15 feet extra. But we're talking about a hard hit ball into the outfield, possibly going to go out of the yard. I'd say, yeah, it's going to add a 15 to 20. All right, so Hazen Wright up to bat now, 0-1 count, 2 outs, runner at second base. The Cavemen lead 4-1 here in the bottom of the third inning. Of course, they want to tack it on and score quite a few more. Make this another 5-inning game is the goal for the Cavemen. My understanding last night, the Cave Girls won big in both of their games against Clovis.
Yeah, I think it was like 15-0, and I'm not sure what the other score was, but yeah, they were both big wins.
All right, so a 1-1 count, 2 outs, a mound visit for the catcher. And something we really hardly ever see is the Roswell uniform. We hadn't talked about it yet. They have light gray pants, dark gray tops. You just don't see that.
Yeah. Yeah, you almost don't see any red at all.
It's weird, kind of like it's a weird combination. But yeah, Roswell has good color. I mean, obviously you've got the red. I'm used to seeing a lot more red. Like you said, you kind of hardly can't see it. All right, so there's a ball fouled back over onto the football field for strike 2. So a 1-2 count, 2 outs. Wind blowing more so out from home plate to left field. Perfect opportunity for Hazen to get a hold of something. And here comes the pitch. This one swung on and fouled back. That one was a breaking pitch, released high, finished high. So Quintela is going to have to head back over to second base once again. So Wright had a double in the second inning. He's going to want to try and switch places with Quintela once again here. Can he do it? Here comes a pitch. This one hit high into right field over into foul territory, or seemingly foul territory, and yes, just out by about 5 feet.
Yeah, it was a lot closer to fair than I thought
it was. That's a good nod to the wind, really, because had that been any day with no wind, that would have probably been out by a good, what's 5 plus
20,
15? Like
20 feet, 20 to 25 feet.
1-2 count, 2 outs. Right, battling. This one, low. Wright has been solid at the plate, known for pitching and having some solid velo behind his pitches. He has come alive at the plate as well. The 2-2 count. Checks back the runner. Here comes. Right over the plate. That I'm sure his mouth started watering seeing that pitch come in, but he fouls it off. It's going to stay a 2-2 count. Long AB for Wright. This is probably the 7th pitch of the AB. Maybe the 8th. He's fouled off about 4. Checks back the runner. Here it comes. This one fouled off again. And somebody probably got
tagged.
It looked like it was close.
Oh, yeah.
He had some dives, some drops.
Yeah, they definitely had people moving in every direction.
2-2.
Now they're kind of hiding behind the wall.
Right. You got to be careful. And that's probably foul ball number 5 for Hazen Wright. Here comes the pitch. Quintela breaks for third base, and Quintela has got to have some. He's going to need a breather here soon. He's had to take off at least 3 times now.
I don't know if they have a function for the on the Apple Watch for baseball because, yeah, he's getting his steps in for sure,
Yeah.
going back and forth.
No doubt. That heart rate is up. Okay, so a nice quiet day here at
Oh,
the Tom Forney Caveman Corral, and that time they threw it up at his face. Just got out of the way. How he didn't get hit
yeah.
is beyond me, because that had to squeeze between his chin and his shirt and everything without getting touched. I don't know how he did it. Here comes the full count, probably the 10th pitch of the AB. Checks back the runner a few times. Here comes the pitch. This one hit just right,
dang.
and Quintela found a way to be acrobatic, jumped over and maneuvered in the air just to get away from that ball, and
was
he
nice.
is going to come around for the score. So Hazen Wright gets an RBI on a very good, very long AB, comes out with the win on that one.
Yeah, that was a
a
matrix
single.
move on that run because I didn't even think he was looking. It looked like he was looking towards third, and all of a sudden he just jumped to get out of the way. So I guess you have to because you don't want to get hit by a baseball, especially like that.
Quintela is super athletic, and there's no doubt right there. The body control was, I mean, to come down off of that at a full sprint is kind of tough too. And it looks like Wright is going to be in there safely. No call still yet. Still no call. Waiting on it.
And I guess
Nothing here for the umpire, but the umpire
even
still hasn't made a call.
Even Hazen put his hands out like, "What? You didn't say anything. You didn't."
So
make
I
any
guess
signal."
there's,
I guess he's safe.
yeah, we're just going to go ahead and act like nothing happened. That was one of the weirder things I've seen. It looked like the umpire was upset with him. I don't know if it was because of all the moves, but did a good job on the slide. The 0-1 count here.
Dang, he's going
Here
to
it
third.
comes. And Wright is going to slide in, and he's going to be just under the tag. It looked like he wasn't there in time. Looked like he was gone.
He must have just got around the tag because
Umpire took off a little late, too. He might not have been in the greatest position, but Caveman will take it regardless.
But
It
at
was a
least
good-
he made a call.
Right, yeah, that time we know what he's thinking. So right over at third base, 2 outs. Collins can get an RBI under his belt for the second time today. If he can get a base hit here. So a 1-2 count, 2 outs, wind blowing hard out to left field. Nice sunny 80-degree day here at the Caveman Corral. And prom is tonight, folks. The prom dance will be tonight. What is, if you're watching, we'd appreciate you chiming in the comment section. What is a song you remember from your senior prom? If you remember anything, if you are not yet if you've never gone to prom yet, if you're still young enough for that, then let me know what song you think would be good this year for prom. But if you've been there and done that, what was a song you remember from prom? I want to hear some good stuff. The 3-2 count, here it comes. This one, fastball low for ball 4, and Tanner Collins is going to reach base on balls. Runner at first and third, Garrett Fuentes.
I guess being on the broadcast, I would have to say probably a couple of the songs from my time would be like Brick House and Play That Funky Music. Two songs that are still played today in some form or another. They'll get people out there dancing.
Yeah, in my era, it was more like T-Pain. It was
Bartender.
like T-Pain. It was, who else was in that era really good? Usher was big at that time. Here's a ball high.
Who sang the Superman song or whatever?
Oh, Soulja Boy was huge.
Yeah.
I think that was closer towards like my younger high school days, but at that time, my era was the jerk days where you would do all the dance moves and you'd wear, low top original Vans, and that was and the skinny pants were big. Though I never rocked the skinny pants. Brandon, don't look at me like that. Just kidding.
I think I've got a picture in my phone. Skinny jeans.
Skinny jeans, that's what they were called.
Yeah, now it's funny, too, because you see a lot of kids wearing the tuxedos and they look good, and then the pants are like super high water. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like they
Yep.
show.
That's the
they-
new.
And they don't wear socks. You know what I mean? Or
Yep.
or they're no-show socks, so they see like 4 inches of their ankles.
All right, so a strike there on the outer half makes the count 2-1 to Garrett Fuentes. Garrett Fuentes had a walk in the second inning and his only at bat of the game so far. Here's a ball high. This one, completely missed by both the shortstop and the second baseman, and that's going to get Collins over to third base, and Wright
Well, my question.
scores.
My
So
question on that is the second baseman came in front of the shortstop and he just let it go by like he wasn't even going to try to catch it, but he like distracted the shortstop.
well, no,
from
I mean,
even
there's
seeing the ball.
There, it looks like all that was a miscommunication because there's got to be a play there.
Yeah.
The second baseman probably did that because the shortstop was supposed to catch it, and it's supposed to keep the third base runner from going because it's like, he's
Okay,
cutting it off. Here's a
right.
hard hit ball into center field. This one is caught
nice
on the
catch.
run,
Nice play in center. Run.
and Fuentes hit that one about almost as deep as you can hit it in this park without going out. But it is caught for out number 3, and that's going to do it for the Cavemen in this inning. But they plate 3 runs, so it makes it 6-1 here in the top of the 4th inning as Roswell is going to bring up their 5, 6, and 7 batters, Loya, Lujan, and Palomino.
I guess I don't have a problem with that play if the second baseman maybe is closer to the mound to where there's more of a gap to where the ball goes over him. I felt like he was distracting the shortstop. That's why the shortstop missed it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was like that's kind of a different kind of play. I feel like they've batted for a long time. Like it's been a while since they've been on defense.
No, it
see how Hernandez
it
does.
was a while. And so to recap the 3rd inning, it was a strikeout followed by a double from Fabian Hernandez, then a walk from Aiden Quintela. Gus Risher flew out to left field, then Hazen Wright got a single. Tanner Collins walked. Garrett Fuentes hit a shot into center field that was caught on the run. All right. All right, folks.
68 for the run.
All right, so Roswell so far on pitch count, 68 pitches. Cavemen have thrown 36 pitches, so almost half of the amount of pitches thrown through 3 innings between the two teams. So, all right, guys, tonight's broadcast brought to you by CNB Bank, serving the community for 100 years.
Loya.
And for that reason, they gave out 100 towels and 100 fans today to the spectators of today's game. So if you're interested in checking out the game, still plenty of game left, you can swing on by to catch the second game of the doubleheaders. The Cavemen lead 6-1. All right, we're going to get things going here in just a bit. As something's going on, I don't know if they made a change or what. Magaha coming out to ask the umpire what's going on, what's taking so long. All right, so no telling, but we're going to get started. Fabian Hernandez to face the 5-hole batter, Isaac Loya, who grounded out to third base in the first inning. Here's the double pump. Hard hit in the
That might
left
be outta
field,
here.
and that one is
a no-brainer.
way gone. And as he really watched that one, took about 3 steps out of the box and watched it go until it landed.
Yeah, he smoked that one pretty good. Wind or no wind, that sucker was gone.
That one was gone. And it's always something that guys will get upset about. Umpire looks like he's fine with it, just whatever, on the way that he celebrated there. But when you're down 6-1, some guys on the opposing team will take exception to it. Come on, man, you're down.
Number 23.
You know, those types of things. I don't care as a spectator. I love stuff like that. But as a player, you're just kind of like, all right. You know what I mean? You want to, like, you use anything you can for fuel.
Oh, so you didn't like the Batista bat flip?
I loved it. 3-0 count. Or I'm sorry, a 1-0 count. Where that came from, I don't know. Here's a swing and a miss. 1-1. No outs. Solo bomb for Isaac Loya, and he's had a pretty good day at the plate. And Aiden Quintela makes the play, and it
Nice.
throws it a little bit wide, but Hazen Wright gets that long wingspan to make up for it.
Yeah, that was one of those tough plays for Aiden where it was kind of an in-between hop. Do you go up and try to get it, or do you back up? And he backed up, and then it kind of almost took off on him. But it's still a nice play. And Hazen helped out with the tag.
Yeah, so to look back at Isaac Loya's day, he has a home run. He just had a home run, so he's 1 for 2 in game 2. But in game 1, he was 1 for 2 with a double. So he's had a couple of key hits for Roswell. But they're going to need a lot more today to be able to catch the Cavemen lead. 6-2 Cavemen lead with Jacob Palomino up at the plate.
It's always interesting to see people with things on their helmets like this batter has. I don't know what they are, if it's little dots or, you know, baseballs.
Stickers,
the
yeah.
stickers on the back of the helmet, and there's probably, 20 stickers on his helmet, like what he did to get them. And the other guy that just hit the home run, I didn't see any stickers on his helmet, unless he just says, I'm not putting them on my helmet.
Strike 3 for out number 2.
All right, so out number 2 comes on a strike 3
Luke Lynn.
from Palomino. Now up to bat, the opposing starting pitcher, Luke Lynn, who flew out to right field for out number 3 in the second inning. Luke would like to help his own case, but this one is going to be fouled off over into foul territory.
Nice.
Or popped up into foul territory as Hazen Wright catches that one for out number 3. So a nice, quick, and easy inning for Fabian Hernandez after the initial bomb hit by Isaac Loya. So we're going to head on into the bottom of the 4th inning. Caveman leads 6-2. Sponsored by CNB Bank. We're going to be right back, folks, here in just a bit. All right, guys, back here on the broadcast here at the Caveman Corral, sponsored by CNB Bank. Jonas Molinar now up to bat for the Cavemen, leading off the 4th inning, bottom of the 4th inning. And we have a new pitcher on the mound for the Coyotes, and it's going to give Cavemen plenty of opportunity to try and make a retaliation home run as it is Isaac Loya on the mound, who hit an absolute shot out of the park just moments ago. The 2-0 count to Molinar.
Jonas rocking the work gloves.
That's right.
Just got through working in the yard.
That's
Came
right.
over here just to play a doubleheader.
Side job to get ready for
Mm-hmm.
his tuxedo purchase for prom.
Yep.
Helped him out. 2-1 count to Molinar. Molinar grounded out to shortstop in the second inning. This one a swing and a miss, low for strike two. 2-2 count. Lots and lots of wind as it continues to pick up. I'd say if it was 25 earlier, it's probably a 28-30 now. And Molinar waves at that one for strike three.
Gonna bring up number 3, Eloy Lopez.
So now up to bat, the leadoff batter, Eloy Lopez.
Blind stares of a million pairs of eyes, looking hard but won't realize that they will never see the P.
So Lopez wants to try and get things going for the Cavemen here in the bottom of the fourth inning. He has lined out to the pitcher. Remember from the first inning when he went right back at the pitcher. Then he grounded out to shortstop in the second inning. So here's his third AB of the game. Lopez, something that we noticed from the first time watching him play, very speedy. He's got power. He's got a good arm. Really got a lot of the tools you want in a star player for the Cavemen. And he is listed as a sophomore, so that's always a nice
that's
addition to the Cavemen program.
for sure.
The windup and the pitch. This one right over the plate for strike one. A 3-1 count. So the windup again here for the fifth pitch of the AB, and it's going to go for ball four.
Number 16, Delmonico Granger Moreno.
So Eloy Lopez on first base, and however he gets on first base, he becomes a threat immediately. Lots of speed, liable to take a base here at second base. You've got Delmonico Granger Moreno, and he's 0 for 1 today with a walk and a strikeout. One out, runner on first base. This one down and out for ball one.
I feel like I don't want to say it, but like the second pitch of the at-bat, that's usually when they take off. So we'll see if
Okay,
I'm
we'll
right.
see.
They kind of watch what the pitcher's doing and kind of get
Get a little timing down.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a pickoff.
See, he knew too. He must have heard me. He's probably listening to the broadcast.
He's got an earpiece in.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that's changed at the next level in college. They don't really do signs anymore from the dugout.
They
Or
just talk to him.
yeah, it's the buzz and it's the. I believe that's how it works. I think in pros they have a earpiece that attaches to your hat and it'll say like fastball in, whatever, change up, whatever.
Huh.
But at the college level, I think it is. I don't know if it's a buzz or what it is. I'll have to find out. But it is a different form of communication that's not just numbers from the catcher.
You might find out on Tuesday.
I need to find out before Tuesday.
Yeah. That way
Yeah.
you act like you know it.
Right. Oh, yeah, I've known that for a
Yeah.
while now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
3-0 count here with one out. Eloy Lopez yet to make the steal attempt.
Yeah, he's just making me a liar out here.
Granger Moreno watches this one go outside for ball four. So 4 straight balls to
Fabian
Delmonico as he takes first base, and back-to-back walks here for the Cavemen. Fabian Hernandez now up to bat. What do we have? Fabian Hernandez. He is a junior, I believe, right? Or is he? No, he's a senior.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe
He is a senior. All right, so one out. Runners on first and second. Fabian Hernandez has an opportunity to give himself a little extra cushion on the mound. As the Cavemen lead 6-2 with runners on first and second, they want to tack on a few extra runs.
I feel like Loya's having a little trouble finding the zone. That's already 2 walks.
Yeah, in 3 batters faced so far, he has walked 2 of them. So Hernandez, if I'm Coach McGaha, I'm going to say, let's go ahead and red light until he puts one over the plate that we like, because until then, you kind of just want to make him feel like he's got to just put something over the plate. Then once he does, gets a little confidence, you strike one into the wall,
Yeah.
Ruben.
Yeah, you hit that 3-run shot.
So here's Fabian Hernandez in what could be, I believe, like the 9th straight ball from Loya. And there's probably the 10th straight ball from Loya. He has not found the zone after the strikeout against Molinar. 3 straight walks, and if you're coach, you got to go out there. There he comes. You just, more than anything, you don't always have to have the right things to say, I think, as a coach. Every now and again, you'll have coaches go out there and just say, hey, what's going on? How are you feeling? Feeling all right, coach, just not finding it. All right, hey, figure it out. You know, something simple like that. But really what you're trying to do is just stop the rhythm of just not being able to find it, essentially, right? For lack of better words, you're just going to make him step off the mound a little extra time and then reset.
Yeah, or maybe feel a little more comfortable. Hey, just throw strikes. Don't try to be too perfect. Don't try to throw on the corner. You know what? Let your defense help you out, whatever. Maybe they're out of pitching. You know what I mean? Maybe this guy doesn't pitch that much, and he's having a hard time finding it. But this is not a good guy to have up with to try to find the zone.
No.
Bases loaded.
No, you might want to lose the zone one more batter until Quintela's gone. But all right, so here he comes with 1 out, bases loaded. Quintela has gone 0 for 1 on the game so far, but he's had a big day at the plate from the start of the day. So Loya comes set. The fresh count. Here comes a pitch right over the plate for strike 1. So Quintela challenges him to throw a strike. And he does for the first time in about 11 pitches. Loya checks back over. Here comes the pitch. This one going to be a pass ball, and Lopez scores on that one.
Pass ball. One run scored.
So Lopez comes in and scores the first run of the inning. Makes it 7-2, and the runners advance. No force is in play on the base pass right now. After that pass ball. So runners on second and third, Aiden Quintela. Here's a pitch, hard hit in the left field. Can it come down
Stay fair?
Stay fair? No. But had that been a fair ball, it would have been a tricky one for the left fielder. Kind of came up a little bit short. He would have had to be on his horse there. And we always wonder, where do sayings come from? I feel like that one's pretty self-explanatory, getting on your horse. The 1-2 count. This one down and off the plate for ball 2. So a 2-2 count with 1 out. Quintela looking to score a couple more runs for his squad, which would put the Cavemen in a great position to keep a momentum flow. Here's a hard hit ball down into foul territory. That one came off of the wall so hard it went to the left fielder.
So Loya's starting to find the zone a little bit, but Quintela's putting a good solid bat on it.
Looks like he's got his timing in. Let's see if he can make it happen. Here comes a 2-2 count. This one low and outside. Good play by the catcher to keep this one in front. So Quintela with a full count here. The pitch, this one high and outside, and that's going to be another walk for Loya, the 4th straight walk.
Brings up
in
number
his
8,
appearance.
Risher.
He challenged Quintela, but ended up with a very long AB. And the runner gets over to first. So Gus Risher now up to bat with 1 out. Risher has a single and a pop fly out to left field, so 1 for 2 here in this game. Here's a pitch. That one over the plate for strike 1. And it's always funny to watch coaches where they stand because it's rarely in the designated coach's box. It's almost like a stance of power. Like, you know what? If I'm in the coach's box, I'm following
I
the
look
rules,
weak.
and that's not
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, that's the truth. It's almost like they say, hey, that's a suggestion where
Right.
you're supposed to be, but we're going to stand somewhere else. Even the other guy at first, he's
Right.
right back there too.
So the 2-1 count here with 1 out. 7-2 ball game. Risher grounds this one over to Magaha. Magaha
Oh, that's E.
bobbles it, and that's going to be an error on the coach.
So that's EC? Is that what that you scored as an
Think
EC?
so.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think he took off with the wrong foot when he went up for it. That's where it got him.
All right, 2-2 count. Here it comes. This one
Ooh.
inside, almost clips him.
That's about the third ball that I don't know how it didn't hit the batter.
Yeah. No kidding. All right, here comes the full count pitch. This one grounded over to shortstop. Throws it over to third base. Just gets there in time for the out. An interesting choice of a throw. And it looks like Quintela might have pulled something or
man.
hurt something
That's not
on his
good.
knee, and he got to send the
Ugh.
trainer out there.
Well, he's not going very fast to get out there, but
And I don't know, it might be a cramp. He might just be saying, hey, I'm good, it's just a cramp or something, but
Yeah,
I'm
but-
still jogging out there
Yeah.
if I'm the trainer.
there he goes. He's put the jog to it. Yeah, you think you just jog out there and check, and if he says I'm good, then you jog back.
Right.
But yeah, hopefully it's not nothing major, because yeah, you definitely need Quintela in for the rest of the season.
All right, yeah, it looks like he's just checking him.
And the
And
calf.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He's messing with his muscles, and that's better to see than joints, because that's where you get those major injuries: the knee, the ankles. Probably not ideal to see, but better to see than what would be a big injury. But I don't want to say too much and then be completely wrong here.
And I almost think with an 8-2 lead, you go, you know what? I'd go out there as a coach and go, you know what? We're going to go ahead and take you out and precautionary. You know what I mean? Make sure everything's
Yeah.
good, because it's not like
We're up
okay,
8-2.
Yeah, it's not 2-1 or 3-2. So he's going to walk it off a little bit. But my idea is thinking he's probably going to stay in the game.
So he's walking just like, it looks like he just got, like, you know, whenever
he's
you stay on the
dragging it.
toilet a little too long.
What the heck? Oh my gosh!
I'm asking for a friend.
I feel like he's dragging.
Where your
his
leg
foot.
falls
he's walking
asleep.
a little bit, and he's dragging a little bit. So yeah,
Yeah.
he's
He's pulling his toe towards him, so I'm thinking, yeah, it's a cramp. And I'd say let's go get some pickle juice in him or some mustard in him and help get that cramp figured out.
Yeah, they should have pickle pops in the dugout.
That's right. So it's going to be runners on first and second. The run scored once again. That run belonged to Delmonico Granger Moreno. And it makes it 8-2. So the Cavemen now will have runners on first and second with Hazen Wright coming up to bat. Hazen's had a great day at the plate and a really good second game with a double and a single. So he's 2 for 2. And crazy enough, they're going to leave Quintela out there. Like you said, I'd probably go ahead and say, you know what, let's go ahead and get somebody to pinch run for him, and then we can sub him out and let him just kind of chill. Because in the event that Hazen hits a hard hit ball into the outfield and he's got to go at a full sprint,
Get on his horse, yeah.
you just never know. I don't know, can cramps turn into even worse injuries if you aggravate them too much? I don't know.
I wouldn't think so, but I don't know, and it's better not to take that chance.
Right.
Even
Don't
if
here's a hard hit ball over to second base. Nice play on the
Nice
turn
play.
off the knees, throw to second base. They get the third out on a 3-6. Fielder's choice.
well, it looks like it loosened
Mason
up,
Wright.
and he's looking okay.
All right, so going on into the top of the 5th inning, Emmanuel Anchondo is going to be up for the Coyotes. He has the lone double for, no, I'm sorry, he has one of 2 doubles for the Coyotes in game 2. As the 9-hole batter, then he'll bring up Jackson McDonald, then Eli Lynn. Fabian Hernandez still on the mound for the Cavemen, keeping his pitch count pretty low, staying efficient, staying in the zone, and being effective today. We'll be right back here, folks, in just a bit. Today's broadcast brought to you by C&B Bank. If you'd like to sponsor a broadcast, a game, the radio show, or the podcast, let us know. You can send us a direct message on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you watch or consume All Sports Best, and we'd love to represent your company with ASB. We'll be right back here in just a moment. So the Cavemen need 4 runs to be able to get back to that run rule that they had in game 1, but it is 8-2, and Roswell is up to bat with Emmanuel Anchondo. Here's a hard hit ball in a left field. Can this carry out? No, but it will be a ground rule double. So one pitch hit hard, and Anchondo went back to first base to touch it. Guess he must have missed the bag. It's funny when somebody goes back to touch the bag when they've gone past it like 6 steps. You understand it when it's like 2 steps, like, oh, shoot, I didn't touch it. But it's like you were morally fighting with yourself as you go, nah, I'm good. Yeah, you know what? I might as well walk back.
Everybody's watching me. I don't want to, because I think if he actually steps on second and stays there, they can appeal it that he missed first and, and be out, even if it's a ground rule double.
Yeah, we've seen guys get called out on home runs. I've seen games end like that. I think I saw a state championship softball game ended like that on the internet, where you see the replay and you can't believe this is how the state championship ended, right? And I guess the player missed second base or third base, and they appealed it. The umpires called it, and that was it. It was a walk-off home run, you know, those types of situations, which is just like you might as well double-check every box.
Yeah.
Or every bag in this case. 1-0 count. Here comes the pitch to Jackson McDonald. So a heck of a game for Emmanuel Anchondo. He has 2 doubles. He's 2 for 2 with 2 doubles, and they need to maybe consider moving him from the 9-hole to the 4-hole.
Yeah.
For Roswell, as he's been one of the very few in Roswell to really show, make some damage here today. Couple things going on today. The doubleheader here, the Brewfest going on down at the beach, and prom happening tonight as well. 2-1 count. Here's the pitch. This one, a slider, nicely thrown. Started in the middle of the plate, ended at the on the outside corner. Swung on and missed. 2-2 count. And the wind showing no signs of stopping. Matter of fact, here's a gust. 2-2. The pitch, this one, another slider, another good pitch. That one comes a bit low. And it's going to be a 3-2 count on Chondo over at second base. Hernandez checking back to second.
I know it's not done anymore. Now the umpires do the numbers 3 and 2, But back in the day when I used to umpire, they used to do the closed fist.
The double fist, yeah.
So I don't know when that changed. Like, hey, okay, let's do this different now.
I don't think it did change. I think it's discretion. It's
I
up
think
to
so.
the umpire.
I don't know if I've seen them do the fists anymore. We'll have to ask an umpire. We'll interview an umpire.
Here comes the pitch. This one, fastball outside for strike 3. That was a good pitch. It's something you can't put in the umpire's hand. And the leadoff batter, Jackson McDonald's going to walk back to the dugout.
Very upset.
After that, yeah, upset after that strikeout. But it looked like a pretty good pitch to me. I'm taking that. There's no way I'm going to let that one go by with 2 strikes. Eli Lynn up to bat. 1 out. Runner on second. This one hit hard into center field. If he catches it, he has a chance to get the double play. And he throws a strike over to Aiden Quintela for the double play. Beautiful play by Garrett Fuentes, and he has been a great defensive player today for the Cavemen, making some insane plays out there, catching what he's supposed to and more. In this case, it was a great double play effort from the Cavemen getting out of that inning early. So the Cavemen are going to set their sights on 4 runs here to finish this game early. If they can do it, it's going to have to start with number 11, Tanner Collins, followed by Garrett Fuentes, then Jonas Molinar. Can the Cavemen do it? Tune in here in just a bit to find out. All right, folks, here we go. Getting going. Superstar by Lupe Fiasco is the walkout song for Tanner Collins, who's leading off the bottom of the 5th inning. Cavemen setting their sights on 4 runs if they can do it. And the possibility is definitely there. They scored 3 in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, and 2 in the 4th. They are not foreign to big innings, and here's a good start. A hit by pitch on Tanner Collins. It's going to put him over on first base with Garrett Fuentes at the plate. Fuentes 0 for 1 with a pop fly into center field and a walk in the 2nd inning. But the bottom of the order, as a matter of fact, there's not really a deficit in speed. I think that is the biggest strength that the Cavemen have, is that 1 through 9 can run, you know, and I think that even one of the guys that a couple years ago you would have said you might not have put him in that category was Delmonico. Wasn't as fast. He's stolen bases. He gets good jumps, and he's got speed now. So it's like you see the development of some of these players. And it's really impressive, especially knowing that they're going to go to the next level. He's going to go play at University of the Southwest. Now he's got more tools than ever. It's the perfect way to show. I don't know. It's just a cool thing to see guys develop throughout the program here in the Cavemen. That's just what they do.
Well, someone like Delmonico too, though, as a catcher this whole year, because he's played
It's
other
tough.
positions. Well, he doesn't get to run much because he gets a
That's
runner
true.
for him. But
That's true.
But in the other years, like when he was a DH and stuff like that, he had to run, so it was a little bit different. Now it's like, now I can run a little bit, but I can't run. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Right,
they don't like
exactly.
it.
And I don't have to, at
Yeah.
least. Which isn't ever a bad thing. 2-0 count. I think that was one of the weirder things about my career in high school was that I would always have somebody run for me. I was a first baseman, and they'd have somebody run for me. I was slow, but I wasn't going to
You didn't always, but yeah, you did
a
sometimes.
lot of times,
Yeah,
which was crazy. But 2-1 count. Here comes the pitch. This one.
they had you listed.
Low, and a pass ball is going to get Tanner Collins over to second base.
They had you listed as a pitcher just to
Yeah.
just to have a runner for you.
The pitcher, but I was just off the mound a bit. By about 80 feet. What do you think that is from the what do you think the distance is from the pitcher's mound from the rubber to first base? About
Probably
60 feet?
75
Think
feet.
70
probably.
feet.
Yeah.
All right, here comes a pitch.
All four.
Out of the zone for ball 4, so a second
Molinar.
Caveman runner reaches base in a row in a free pass from Loya. Now up to bat, Jonas Molinar, the shortstop for the Cavemen. 0 for 2 on the day, looking to get his first hit. And Loya tosses it over to the shortstop, not covering the bag just close enough to get the tag on or anything. Just to kind of put it over there, I guess. So fresh count here to Molinar. Wind blowing heavy towards center field now. This one a fastball high for ball 1. The 1-0 count. 8-2, the Cavemen lead. 8-2 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Molinar saw his first pitch as a ball. Here comes the second pitch. He's going to try and put a bunt down. That one way up at his head, at his eyes. He bunts it foul. So in that case, you'd like to ask him about it. Were you trying to pull that back and you tapped it foul, or did you just try and put that bunt down? You just never know. It looked like he was trying to put it down even that high, but here's a good looking
good
bunt.
spot.
Can it
Oh,
stay?
foul.
No. And it ends up foul. Some guys will send it foul on purpose so that they can swing away, and it looks like Fuentes did something. I don't know if he's got a cramp now too, but he's limping back over to first base, and when it's a hot day, you have to drink plenty of liquids throughout your day on this baseball field because it's not like football or basketball. Football, you see a lot of cramps, but you stop and go so much in baseball that cramps are more liable to happen. Here's a strikeout for Jonas Molinar
Brings up
for
30,
out number
Eloy
1.
Lopez.
And Eloy Lopez comes up to the plate. Try and bring in a run or two if he can. A single would do wonders for the Cavemen here, pursuing that run rule. Here comes the pitch. This one off the plate, just about, half a foot off the plate. Made it sound like it was close, huh?
Yeah.
Just a little bit of
Just
a
a
couple
little
feet.
half a foot off.
1-0 count. 1 out. Loya on the mound. Picks back to second
Ooh,
base,
that
and it
was
looks like
close.
he got
Oh,
him,
he
and he
got him.
did.
Take down second for out number 2.
So that's going to be a pickoff right there for Tanner Collins for out 2, and that's not good for the Cavemen. As you have your leadoff batter up to bat, you want to stay safe on the base paths if you can. But now it's just a runner on first base. Eloy Lopez with 2 outs. 1-0 count.
Now he just wants to get everybody on the base pass. He doesn't even want to deal with the batters.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to be super accurate over to first base. Just keep tossing it over there, beat up the first or the runner.
Oh.
And there's
The first hit by pitch, I think, of the doubleheader.
no, that's probably the third.
Oh, okay.
But that's okay. That's all right.
That was close.
Hey, you're okay.
Gonna bring up number 16.
Yeah, Tanner Collins was hit by a pitch this inning.
Was he?
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, D-Money up to bat. Delmonico Granger Moreno. He had walked in his last at-bat. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout and 2 walks. Good hard hit here would be a run for the Cavemen. Depending on where it is, could be 2 runs. Here's a fastball outside for ball or for strike 1.
There's a fastball outside for strike 1. That's what it looked like to me, like it was about 4 inches off.
It did look like it. Here it comes, pitch number 2. And this one's off the turf, making it a 1-1 count. Granger Moreno has been a staple in the Caveman program for the last couple of years. I think as a sophomore, he's started having his impact on the varsity squad last year. Had a big mark, was in the lineup every single game. And this year, starting, I think, every game behind the plate as well. 1-2 count. And a pickoff over to second base, probably about the 6th pickoff attempt of the inning for Loya. All right, Loya trying to dial it in. And this one swung on and fouled off from Granger Moreno. So he's going to get another opportunity here with 2 outs. So the 1-2 count, 2 outs. Another look over at second base and just prolonging this game as long as they can. Check back to second base. The pitch, this one, in on the hands of Granger, but he fouls it straight back. Yeah, we do have prom tonight. What do you guys think about prom? 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. Is 4 hours too long for a prom? Is that just right? Should it be 3 hours? Should it be longer? What do you guys think? What do you think, Ruben?
I think 8 to 11:30 would probably be good, because I feel like people start leaving about 11 or somewhere around that range. So I think that would be long enough. But, you know, I mean, it's been 4 hours ever since I've known it, and I guess that's just the standard. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, when you put a formal together, something that's like a big deal, I think longer would be better than shorter in terms of, like, you know what I mean, giving people time to get there and not feel rushed. Because I always think about 3 hours being a better time, as we see a strike 3 on Delmonico for out number 3. But I think about it, I'm like, okay, if it was 3 hours and people go eat and students go eat dinner and get ready and they have all their festivities and they get there at 9 or so, then now they get 2 hours and they feel rushed. And
yeah, but that's not the organization's
you're
fault.
right, it's not.
I mean,
but I think that's what they think of. Like, how do we make the kids have as much enjoyment as possible? Some kids want to get there early and stand in line, and some kids want to show up late when it's like, you know what, when I get there, I want everybody already, like, starting to dance and breaking the ice and all of that stuff. So totally up to them. But if the school's willing to make it longer, then I think students appreciate that. But yeah, like you said, I mean, by about 11:30 is typically when you start to see a lot of the dance floor empty, because students are heading home. They're doing
to other stuff, having get-togethers, and
And that's, I mean, I did that when I was in high school. I think it's cool, especially when parents help set something up to where the kids have somewhere to go afterwards, because one of the things you absolutely don't want after an event like that is students to have to go and find their own recreation. Some of them are just like, I'm tired, I'm going home. But a lot of times that's not the case. It's a once in a year type of thing, sometimes a once or twice in a lifetime event. So people are going to take advantage of it and try and have fun. If parents can have like, hey, we're going to have a little something in the backyard where we'll have food, we'll have pizza for you guys, and we'll, put the TVs on or whatever, it keeps a lot of kids out of trouble that otherwise could find themselves in a bad situation. And we've seen accidents happen in the news and stuff like that before, and whatever you can do. That's why Class Act started for graduation, was because students were going out and getting dangerous, and found a way to give them an incentive to not be that way.
Yeah, and since then it's been a great thing.
Yeah, it has.
Raised a lot. I mean, they raised a lot of money to give out gifts. I think you won what? Did you win a computer or an
yeah,
iPad?
I won a MacBook when I was in
You won a MacBook.
high school.
Rylan won a watch, an Apple Watch. I mean, people win different prizes, and it makes it worth it. But you have to stay till what, 5 in the morning to.
You do, and I think that's awesome because, once again, I mean, there's like ways to rest and whatever, but if somebody left at 1 o'clock, that's dangerous too, so make them wait until they're so tired they can't even make any other decisions but to go sleep. Now pitching for the Cavemen, Aiden Quintela. 8-2, Cavemen lead. And here's the first pitch, fastball low.
Okay, my question is does he have the same glove, or did you
Does.
think he borrowed it?
Yeah, I think he borrowed it from Fabian Hernandez.
Could you imagine if they had a pitching glove and that everybody used the same glove just to
If it was
pitch?
magical, I would use it every time too.
Well, you've seen a couple of those guys that pitch with can pitch from the right side or the left side, and they have one of those gloves that's kind of in the middle.
Yeah, there's
Have you
like
seen it?
3 of those guys in the world, don't you
Yeah.
think?
It's pretty
It's
rare.
tough to do. Yeah, there's a guy on Mississippi State that I've mentioned a couple times before, but he throws 90 on both sides, and it's just insane to see it. And he's a starter, so he'll get a start on one side and a start on the other side sometimes.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
And if they're playing a triple header, he catches the other game.
Yeah, 1-2 count. Here it comes. This one, a nice
pitch.
slurve is what it felt like or looked like for strike 3. So a good first batter faced for Aiden Quintela with a strikeout. Now up to bat, number 12, Savino Sanchez, the second baseman for the Coyotes. Gets into the box with he's had 2 walks on the day, and here is a ground ball over to Hazenwright, and he takes it by himself, so a 3-U for out number 2.
Number 8, Isaac Loya.
Isaac Loya, the relief pitcher for today.
And the guy that hit the bomb, wasn't it the guy that hit the bomb? Yeah.
Yes, he hit a home run in the 4th inning, his last at bat. So he's probably got that on his mind right now. Quintela goes into the windup and the pitch, this one. Down and outside. Quintela kind of limping a little bit. We saw he had the cramp issue earlier. Looks like he's still got his, it's still got a little bit of tightness in that right calf. Or that left calf. I'm not sure which one it is.
The left one. Yeah.
Nice pitch there. He's got tail and lots of movement on his fastball. So that one started in the middle of the plate and kind of ended a little bit on the inner half of the plate. A 1-2 count. There you go. Fastball down, fouled off for strike 2. And Quintela, depending on how his arm feels and how he recovers, I think there was some type of like something bothering him with his arm this year that he didn't end up pitching as much, but I believe that he will become a key piece of the pitching staff next year. With the way that he's throwing today, it seems like he might be already.
Oh yeah, no, he looks pretty comfortable out there, and he's got, like you said, he's got movement on his fastball, and
yeah, lots of
it. He
it.
kind of finds the strike zone pretty conveniently.
Okay, so 3 up, 3 down inning for Aiden Quintela as the Cavemen head on into the bottom of the 5th inning. Or I'm sorry, the bottom of the 6th inning. And they'll need 4 runs to be able to get that run rule, but if not, they'll have one more inning to defend, one more half inning to defend. We'll see what happens. The Cavemen are going to send up their 3, 4, and 5 hole batters. Fabian Hernandez, Aiden Quintela, and Gus Risher. All right, Ruben, you get ready for some kind of morning get-together or work or whatever. What is your go-to drink of the morning?
My go-to drink in the morning is water with lemon. That's pretty much what I drink 24/7. Even when I go play in tournaments and do stuff with a lot of heat, everything, I really don't do the body armor and some. I mean, I'll buy some and I'll have the intention to use it, but I pretty much just drink water. That's pretty much my. I mean, I'll drink a, Coke, tea or something once in a while, but for the most part, I would say 80% water.
Sure.
Yeah. You?
Number 20.
Well, the other day I went to, it was yesterday actually, I went to Hot Shot Espresso, which is formerly the Java Nick's place, and I got an All Sports Best infusion because I was like, I haven't had one in a little while, and man, it hit the spot. It was crazy for me to have a Red Bull at 8 in the morning, but it's got good flavor to it. It was a great mixed drink.
You had a lot of energy all day?
I did. So up to bat for the Cavemen is number 20, Fabian Hernandez. This one is going to be, is it going to get down in left field? No. Carried out to the left fielder for out number 1. So a fly out to left field. So now up to bat is the current pitcher for the Cavemen, Aiden Quintela. All right, so on my phone screen right now, trying to get to watch a little bit of former Caveman player Mac Mabry play for San Jacinto. He's taking on Galveston College, which is actually where Hazen Wright is going to college next year. So kind of cool.
Is he pitching?
I don't know. They're on offense right now. All right, so Loya trying to get into the zone here for Aiden Quintela, and a high pitch called for strike 2, and the whole entire
even Quintela made that his face like, oh my gosh.
Right. When you get a call like that, it makes the whole rest of your at bat so unpredictable because you're typically like, okay, with 2 strikes, I got to shorten up and put something in play if it's within an inch or 2 off the plate, but when you see something like that, it's like, I don't know, anything goes now. So
like
there,
right
yep,
there.
exactly. That's the result of a bad call at behind the plate. But regardless, Quintela makes it over to first base safely, and he's limping again. But you got to take him out at this point. I mean,
I feel like
he's in pain. It looks like Magaha is trying to ask him, but I'm not even asking him. I'm saying let's go ahead and get somebody off. And looks like Quintela did say, let's go ahead and get somebody to run for me. But you almost can't leave it up to because a lot of kids are going to go, no, I'm good. I'm good.
You want to look tough out there, and there's no reason for it, especially if you've got more games in the season. If this was the last game of the season, then it'd be like, okay, well, I'm just going to finish it off. But, you make sure that thing's okay because you've still got, 3 games against Hobbs, and hopefully a playoff game. Well, for sure a playoff game, and then state. So you don't need to end your season this early.
All right, so
Risher.
Gus Risher now up to bat for the Cavemen as Quintela keeps his day looking pretty good. He's 1 for 2 on the day, or on game 2 with 2 walks. So he's been on base 3 times today, but his day I think might be over unless they keep him out on the mound for the final inning. We'll have to see. But 1 out here, Gus Risher at the plate, runner at first base.
Yeah, I feel like our guys are not squatting down enough, and they're letting the ball get up, and they're trying to bunt that. Pop up.
This one pulled out of the zone here from Loya for a ball. The 1-1 count. 8-2, the Cavemen lead. Trying to tack on more. Risher puts one out into deep center field, but that's exactly where the center fielder was playing, so it's going to be caught for out number 2. Now batting is Hazen Wright. It feels to me like the sound system needs to be upgraded. It's a little bit like older. You know what I mean?
Like grainy.
Yeah, it kind of is. And I think the Cave Girls have the issue with their system to where they don't like it so much that they don't have walkout songs anymore. So I think that's an investment that can be made after this $20 billion fieldhouse facility's finished up.
If they have any money left over.
What do you think something like that would cost? About $5,000 to get a nice system, just enough to you can hear it throughout the stadium and it connects easily.
I'm not sure how many outdoor speakers they have here, but I feel like those are a little bit higher because they got to handle all the weather and then they stay out the whole year.
Right,
round,
that's
what I mean?
true.
So, but yeah, it's probably about that much of an investment, I would say.
$5,000. Try and put at least in 3 or 4 locations. A couple off of we see a couple that come
building,
off of the building here, and then 2 on either of the poles by the dugouts. 2-0 count here with 2 outs. Hazen Wright at the plate. This one held up for ball 3. So Wright has had a double and a single in today's game. 2 for 3. And this is going to be a walk for him. So he reaches base for the 3rd time in this game.
Bring up number 11, Tanner Collins.
So Tanner Collins now up to bat with runners on first and second. The Cavemen lead 8-2, and they're down to their final out of being able to tack on more runs before trying to finish things off in the top of the 7th inning. First game was quick. There's a pitch out of the zone for ball 1. Checking back to second base is Loya, then over to the plate. This one a off-speed pitch on the outer half for strike 1. 1-1 to number 11, Tanner Collins. He has not recorded like an official AB
Number 12, Garrett Fuentes.
today. He had a sac fly, a walk, a hit by pitch, and then just now another hit by pitch. So he's reached base in all 4 plate appearances today, but has recorded 0 at-bats.
It helps his on-base percentage, but it just makes his average the same.
Yeah, exactly. 0-1 count here to Garrett Fuentes with 2 outs. Here comes this pitch. This one a fastball off the plate. So 1-1 count, bases loaded. Fuentes has found a way to reach base 2 times in this game. 2 walks and a pop fly to center field. It was hit deep too. And in the first game, he had a walk, a single, and a line out to second base. So Fuentes has seen the ball well today. There's no doubt about it. And here's a foul ball. 2-2 count. 2 outs. 8th batter of the lineup up to bat with Fuentes. This one, a fastball high and inside. but called for strike 3.
Yeah, I thought it broke a little bit. It was
I don't
a
think so.
borderline pitch.
Hey, that's okay. But that is going to do it here for the Cavemen offense. So hopefully, for their sake, that's going to do it. But 8-2 now. The Cavemen lead going into the top of the 7th inning. They need 3 outs to finish off this game. Aiden Quintela looked really good in the top of the 6th inning. So he's going to look to continue it here as he heads up to the mound for his warm-up pitches. Once again, Cavemen really slow to get out onto the field. I haven't seen this
I've never seen that
in a long time, if ever, to where no players are out on the field except for the pitcher and the third baseman.
I feel like there's still a couple in the dugout. Like,
Yeah, where's
they're
our
waking
team?
them up.
Or maybe they're sending out new. Nope.
There goes Hazen.
I thought maybe they would be like subbing guys in, getting them some playing time or something, but that's not really the case here. They're just super slow to get out there today, I guess.
Lethargical.
Could be.
So I guess Aiden's leg feels good enough to pitch because he's back out there to pitch that last inning. It's like nobody's paying attention to throw it down to second.
I always find it funny when you do the throwdown and the pitcher throws out of the windup. You know what I mean? Because you're never going to do it out of one, which doesn't matter. It's just a matter of whatever you're comfortable with. But I always felt like that was the one you have to throw out of a stretch. All right, so getting things started here in the top of the 7th inning for the Coyotes is going to be Rico Lujan. First pitch right into the ribs of Lujan. And he picks up the ball and tosses it to the catcher like, yeah, that didn't hurt.
Bring up number 10, Jacob Palomino.
All right, now batting the 7th batter in the lineup, number 10, Jacob Palomino. So now Jace Griffin in to run for Rico Lujan over at first base. So runner at first base, nobody on, or nobody out. Aiden Quintela on the mound for the Cavemen. Going to look for a double play here. In the infield, since Quintela has been on the mound, it was Fabian Hernandez that went back over to third base. Jonas Molinar stays put over at shortstop. Second base, Eloy Lopez. So the 5 infielders for this team, I believe, with the exception of Molinar, have played their position and pitched in this series. I think Hazen Wright was on Thursday.
True.
So Quintela looks over to first base. Comes set. The pitch, this one a fastball over the plate, fouled back for strike 1. So guys, if you didn't hear it earlier, I will be on ESPN Plus helping call the game between the New Mexico State Aggies and the UNM Lobos on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Be sure to check it out if you have ESPN Plus. If you don't, get it so you can check it out. We'd appreciate it. I'd appreciate it if you did. First full television appearance, and hopefully the first of more to come, but we'll see.
You think they'll do hair and makeup or something like that? Or
I'll do it myself. I got plenty of makeup at the house to work with. Just kidding. Can borrow my wife's or something, but yeah, the dress code is a lot different than here. We're wearing T-shirts and shorts, and here's a hard hit ball over to
nice
third
play.
base. Nice play by Hernandez. But Wright can't finish it. If he catches that, that's a top 10 play of the week. Good play by Hernandez there. So a line out over to Hernandez, caught for out number 1. Threw it over to first base for the double play, but did not reach it. So now up to bat for the Coyotes is number 7, Luke Bogle, who started and batted in game 1. Now here making another appearance in game 2. The 0-1 count. The pitch. This one a fastball off the plate. Quintela can throw the ball pretty well. Throws pretty hard. As he looks in. Comes set. The pink glove in hand. Skips it over to Hazen Wright, and he keeps it in front. Saving a bag there, maybe 2. That angle to first base with how much space is in foul territory, that's 2 bags typically, if it's past you. This one's hit high into a parking lot. Ooh, and it hit a light. Or the back of the light, there's a door open on the back of the light pole that hosts, I guess, the electrical for all of the lights.
Yeah.
Swinging open. I think that's what got hit, maybe opened up. Interesting. I remember one time playing, somebody hit a foul ball over our dugout, and it hit one of the lights, and all the glass came down on us. Nobody was hurt in the making. The slider there off the plate for ball 2. 2-2 count, 1 out. Runner at first base. Cavemen lead 8-2. Quintela has been solid on the mound since he came in last inning. And here's a strikeout here looking against Luke Bogle. Now batting is number 5, Emmanuel Anchondo.
Brings up number 5, Emmanuel Anchondo.
So with 2 outs, a runner on first base, Aiden Quintela has another out to finish this game off. Here's a pitch. This one fastball fouled back into the construction site, or maybe not. Maybe it just came down right here.
Yeah, it came back down over the bleacher. The bleacher area cover.
I always underestimate that wind. All right, here's Quintela. Fastball fouled straight back. I always try to listen out. Did it hit a car or something? But nope.
Yeah, I guess Brandon doesn't have those effects, huh? Where it breaks the windshield.
I know. You need to get that. You need to get that going for him. 0-2 count, 2 outs. This one up and out. Quintela trying to get that last out. What will it be? Pop up, ground ball.
I'm gonna say
strikeout. Okay. I'm going to go pop up. I was going to say it could be a pickoff and trick us all. So you've got the strikeout, I've got the pop fly. Let's see what happens. Here's Aiden Quintela. Comes set. The pitch.
Ooh.
And the strikeout is there. And a good job by Aiden Quintela to finish off this game. And the Cavemen win back-to-back here on the doubleheader. They get the full sweep of Roswell in 3 games. 8-2 here today on game 2. 12-2 in game 1 on a shorter game with the run rule. Guys, you just listen to All Sports Best right here on Facebook Live or YouTube, whichever you chose to listen on. And sponsored by CNB Bank, produced by Red Rocket Media. Thank you, folks, for listening in, watching, and enjoying. Have yourselves a great rest of your weekend. And if you have an athlete or a student that's going to prom, please make sure that they stay safe tonight and make good decisions.